yeah, they showed a straight a great relationship to each other. I think we have good players behind them. They are flexible enough. I think this is also important. And I think this is a threat also for the backline of them. They have to pay attention because we have speed, we have physicality, and we have players around our two centre forwards. They can handle the ball and can give them the ball in the right moment.
You wondered what Celtic might do with their goalkeeping situation. It's Sinisalo. There's no sign of Schmeichel at all in the squad. Is that good news for you or bad?
Yeah, it depends. It shows just that my thought was not so wrong, what I said. I think this is a normal question. When you see the change in the European game, that something could be happens. I'm more surprised that he's not even on the bench.
Yes, I think we are as well. We'll maybe find out. Do you sense any weakness at the moment about Celtic? Obviously, you guys are strong. You've not lost a game domestically since before Christmas against Hearts. You've got the momentum.
I think today it's not about the past or something like this. It's a special game and a special atmosphere. And it makes no sense to look to mistakes from the last couple of weeks or something like this. It's about who brings the best performance on the pitch and who can handle the pressure as best as they can.
Let's see what happens. Thanks so much.
Thank you. See you.
Danny Roll, well, a lot of belief, a lot of confidence, and you can understand Andy Halliday exactly why the home run has been brilliant. I think it's 12 unbeaten at home in the Premiership since Hearts won there in the early part of the season. They've won their last 8, I think it is, in the bounce at Ibrox. They don't concede many goals. I mean, scoring plenty. It has become a real fortress under Danny Roll, hasn't it?
Yeah, they've been. Listen, he deserves immense credit, Danny Rowe, for what he's came into. Obviously, the first 8 league games, Rangers have only won 1 game. Everyone knew their struggles, whether it was home or away under Russell Martin. And it was not just the manager at that point in time. It was being questioned. It was the playing squad that was invested in. And he seems to have got the best out of a lot of individuals. I feel like Rangers have strengthened in January where they can make a real push towards it. But I think it's all well, going on that run when you're the chasers and you've got yourself all the way back into it. I think now it's down to the business end of the season. I think you've gave the fans a bit of optimism and belief and hope that they can go over the line and win this title. And for me, I think the hunt to chase down Hearts will take a damaging blow to at least one, if not both, for Rangers and Celtic today. I think whoever loses the game, I can't say that they're completely out the race, but I just can't see them win it. Hearts have been at the top of the table for 21 weeks. I think people need to stop writing them off as if they're not going to be there or thereabouts towards the end of the season. And I feel like with both teams, their level of performances as well as results, I think it could be really damaging for somebody, whatever the result may be. And I don't know what the guys think. I actually don't particularly think a point is good for either of them. So I think we're bound to have a really exciting game ahead of us today.
I mean, if it is a draw and Celtic obviously up at Pittodrie on Wednesday, you would looking at both sides on 57 points and 6 behind Hearts going into the final 9 games of the season. Pat Bonner, do you also believe that even a draw is potentially fatally damaging for either?
It's not fatal, but it's not what either team would like, to be perfectly honest. I listened to Tom there talking. He's never, commentated or done his media piece on a scenario like this. This kind of replicates a little bit. You'll remember it well, Richard, the 80s when you had Dundee United and Aberdeen. Yeah. And you had Rangers. We always had to come to Ibrox, or we had to play them at Celtic Park, and it was always a huge game that we had to deal with, while Dundee United and Rangers could go on and win their game and so on and put severe pressure on, and that helped those two teams, there's no question. So I do think that these games against Celtic and Rangers will help Hearts, and if it's a draw today, then 6 points is a lot, I can tell you. The only benefit for Celtic will be is that they will have Hearts and Rangers at Celtic Park, but there's no guarantee they'll win those games. That's the way they're playing at the moment. Confidence is a huge thing, and they got away with it on Thursday night. And listen, it was a terrific result. Maybe people look at it when you go back and analyse it. It was a good performance, not a brilliant performance, because they only had 38% of the ball. But that's another way you win the game. You don't always have to have control of the ball to win games. You've got to dig in on the other side of it, and that's where Celtic, I think, need to learn how to go to Europe, go into these big games, don't have the ball but still come out with a result. And that would be a question I would have. Can this team do that type of work over the years? We always came here, and you came here full of confidence. You never came here with fear in your belly, and that's for sure. You may not have won the game and you may not have went your way, but at the start you come here knowing that you weren't going to have the ball all the time, but you were going to dig in and you were going to make it really difficult for the home team. And if you have players in the team that can go and score, you come out on top, and that's what we always had in the past. This team has it. They've got players in there, technically very, very good. They can score goals. They have proved it in the past. They just need to believe.
Well, they need to believe, the Rangers players, absolutely. Well, you imagine, Pat Nevin, they will believe, won't they, given that incredible home record I mentioned, and the fact that, well, they have proved, certainly at Celtic Park in the last meeting, that they are able to take the Celtic team on.
Well, under Danny Rule, am I correct in saying one defeat in the league this season? I think that was against Hearts away from home. They should be they'll feel no one, absolutely no chance they will feel anyone just now. They will believe they're capable of doing it. Listen to Danny Rule, who mentioned the importance, obviously, of the subs and changing it as the game goes on, because that's going to be very, very important. But he believes he's got a very, very strong bench as well, and I agree with him. I think he's got a lot of options there that can go and adapt and change the game and be game changers. So yeah, that's a big thing. There's no problem there as well. So he's not over worried about his position. I think if Danny Rule would say, well, if you don't win today, it's not all over, I would kind of agree with it. I know it's a massive, massive game. That's the gorgeous thing about the split. At the end of the season, you're looking at, if you're Celtic Rangers, if you've got to play against Motherwell, or you've got to play against maybe Hibs, or you've got to play against Hearts, you're not gimmies. You're absolutely not gimmies. So I get the feeling we're going to be having this brilliant tension all the way to the end, but you really wouldn't want to be the one that drops it today, because here's a horrible situation for you, and this might be slightly cynical for me. Can you imagine if either Celtic or Rangers dropped out of it a bit? How willing would they be able to push it all the way to the end against Hearts? So would they like their big rivals to lose out in the end? That's something we might have to think of later in the season. But right now it's all about positivity, and I think both teams have set out really attack-minded sides. Andy was saying there beforehand about Skov Olsen coming on instead of Diamandi, but Skov Olsen's just a bit more attack-minded, maybe. You look at that's Skov Olsen, Nadiri, Chiamete, Moore, utter attackers, total attackers. Sterling, when I watched him here, particularly against Hearts in the last game here, he wasn't a right back, he was a right winger. He spent his entire time on the right wing. So he's going for it, and I don't think there's any fear there. But you have a look at Celtic as well. Yeah, plenty of attack-minded players there. The one I would ask a question about is maybe Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's a big ask to come into something this massive, to be up to the pace of it and get it right away. It's a big call for him today, see how he does.
Pat Bonner, we've seen a bit of Oxlade-Chamberlain. He does look to have that kind of natural fitness, but are you needing a little bit more for something like this, or do you feel he will ease into the immediate demands of this fixture?
Yeah, I think if he was playing a little bit on his own in a forward midfield position and you had two behind him, but Nygren won't sit there. Nygren will run all over the place, and it'll be left to Callum McGregor to do more the defensive side. Oxlade-Chamberlain, good player, very comfortable on the ball, very knowledgeable when before the ball comes to him, and he can make passes, but it's that other side of the game, and a game against Rangers, you have got to put that sort of almost battling alongside your ability, and I'm not 100% sure, we haven't seen it, I'm not sure if the tempo of the game will be maybe even too much for him, but he is quality, and give him a chance and around the box he can score, as he's proven already. So he is a good player, but is he up for this type of game in this occasion, in this stadium, with a team that's been struggling a little bit? I think if he was in a team maybe in the past when they were going really well, I think he would have fitted in quite well, but he's a big job to do today, both offensively and defensively, and I'm not sure the defensive side will be up to it, but let's see. He's experienced, that's for sure.
20 minutes until this one kicks off. We've heard from Danny Rule, here now from the Celtic manager Martin O'Neill.
Well, Martin, when I thought about party venues for your 74th birthday, I'm not sure I would have come up with Ibrox. Just what does it mean to you still to be here, still in the thick of things?
Well, it is amazing. I must admit, not that I certainly look forward to birthdays at all. I don't. But when I was thinking, if it had crossed my mind at all around about Christmas time, Ibrox was certainly not the place that you'd have been thinking about having most of your day there.
And what a huge day today for the football club.
Oh, big day for the football club. Obviously, a big day for both clubs in many aspects. I've just done an interview there, asking you, would it be mortal if we're beaten in the game? It's a setback again. We had a setback last week, but this is a big game for both clubs.
It's some ferocious pace. Hearts are putting pressure on both the Glasgow clubs.
Of course, yeah, and they've done it. The ability to play the day before is good, particularly if you get the result and things that gets here. So we've been chasing now for what seems endlessly, and I just think that this is it. Again, the games are running down, so today's game's very important.
There's one big name missing from not just your team sheet but your squad, Kasper Schmeichel.
He was poorly this morning, and really we thought we'd just leave it at that there if that's the case, because I thought that young Sinisalo did really well for us on Thursday, and it's nice in that aspect, because he's coming into this particular game having done well on the Thursday. But again, I've just done the interview. Kasper Schmeichel has been terrific for me in my couple of spells here. So, and we played Stuttgart on Thursday night. And probably one of the reasons that we did do that is the saves that he made against Feyenoord and Bologna.
Yeah, and it's a big one for him to miss due to illness. He must be. Is he gutted?
I think, of course, I think you're always gutted to miss.
The defence in front of Sinisalo, you've got Dane Murray in there. Big game for him as well, but it looked like he equipped himself pretty well over in Germany.
He did fine. Yes, of course. There's a different atmosphere again, but a big game against Stuttgart, who are a very fine football team. And hopefully he can continue that to I was nearly going to say this morning, but by the time that we kick off, it'll be the afternoon.
It is ridiculously early, isn't it? Your front three as well. I think that's the front three that played for you there in Germany. They must have obviously impressed you enough to go same again.
Well, we did. Contrary to what people were saying, we actually tried to win the football match, believe it or not, which we did do. This idea of going and chasing the game and not doing enough to score 3 or 4 goals. I think if you think about the substitutions that we put on, I don't think they were too defensive.
What are you looking for primarily from your guys today? What do you need to get the victory that you're looking for? And would you take a draw today?
Well, the most important thing is obviously the result. The result matters, of course, and it matters in any particular game, but it matters particularly here. But you think if you can get a really good performance, then the performance maybe, and I say maybe, might end up being a win for you or something like that. But at the end of it, I'm hoping by the end of proceedings that we're still in the competition.
You've had so many of these games. You're potentially at the end of your Celtic career. Danny Rowell at the beginning of his. How warm will the handshakes be?
I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure they'll be pretty cordial. Why wouldn't they be?
Martin, thank you very much.
Martin O'Neill, like you've seen and done it all before. I think that was a tacit admission there. I think Andy Halliday, wasn't it, when he said, "Like, I'm hoping by the end of this game we are still involved in the competition. We're still involved in proceedings." So, without actually saying it, I think that was an acceptance that lose this and you may well be out of the title race.
Yeah, he was relatively clever in how he played about his words when he was asked if it would be mortal for Celtic season if they don't win the game today. And listen, the history of the books will tell you can never write this Celtic team off. They've had over a decade of dominance. But I feel like Hearts, for example, 21 weeks at the top of the table, if Celtic were to lose today and it was 9 points, yes, you could argue they've still to play Hearts and Rangers again at home in the split, but that would suggest that they win every other game. Now, we've just spoke about how strong that Motherwell are, how strong Hibs are, how strong Falkirk are, and that's why this season is so special. It's not just what Hearts are doing at the top of the table, it's what Falkirk have brought to the party this season, it's what Jens Bertalasco and Motherwell have done, and also coinciding with Rangers and Celtic not being at their very best. So I think for me today, if Celtic if Celtic lose the game, I can't see them winning the league towards the end of the season, and same can be said with Rangers.
It would also, Tom English, be a real kind of, blink under pressure, I suppose. They lost last week against Hibernian, they lose this one as well. For Celtic, given the way they have dominated in terms of the title race, certainly for the past decade and a half, to lose back-to-back games at this stage when in contention, that might tell a story as well.
Absolutely. But if they did, would any of us be surprised? Because they have looked very, very vulnerable for most of the season. Martin O'Neill has done a fine job in trying to galvanise them, and he has done, but it's been hard work. Like pretty much every game has been a grind, and they've got a lot of wins under Martin O'Neill, but they've had to work incredibly hard for them. Nothing comes easy. And the club is in turmoil right now. The fans, the board, the fans on fans. There's people tearing strips off one another, and there's a kind of temporary nature to Celtic at the moment. They're in like a holding pattern. They have an interim CEO, an interim manager. They got an interim recruitment operation. They've got a lot of loan players, some loan players starting, some more on the bench, like 5 or 6 in total today. So they're just kind of in a state of flux. Now they can rise above that by winning today and getting themselves back in the hunt. But I just look at Celtic. If they lose today, I think they're just hanging on by a thread right now. And if Rangers win this game, like Andy, I struggle to see how Celtic can raise themselves to go on a long winning run that they haven't experienced so far this season, while simultaneously hoping that Motherwell, Rangers and Hearts kind of fall in a heap. All of those things are not going to happen.
Tom, the scenario that Pat Nevin painted there, where if either Celtic or Rangers, if they do drop away and you've got 4 or 5 games to go and they're clearly not going to win the league, but they have games to come that could be decisive in terms of whether either their City opponents or Hearts win the title. Let's be honest, either Celtic or Rangers would much rather Hearts win the title than their rivals from across the river.
Yeah, totally.
It would be an interesting scenario, wouldn't it?
What are you suggesting, Richard?
I'm just saying that it would be an interesting scenario, and inviting you to offer your thoughts.
What the Hibs do in that scenario?
yeah, exactly. Everything about this season has been interesting. Like everything about it. Is it beyond the realms of possibility that Celtic could finish 4th?
They could.
Is it beyond the realms of possibility that Celtic could finish 1st?
Yes, they could.
So the realms of possibility that Motherwell could win the league. No.
You don't think so?
Not. Motherwell are in a great position. They're coming on the heel.
Motherwell are in.
And they've got big games to play.
Motherwell are the best league in the best defence in the league. They're playing the best football in the league. You could argue that they've got the best manager in the league. They are.
Real momentum.
They've got unbelievable momentum. 1 point behind Celtic, 3 points behind Rangers, having played the same number of games as Rangers. So Motherwell are right there. They are right there. They don't know what it is to concede a goal anymore, Motherwell. They've forgotten the sensation.
Do you not feel, given there are 3 teams above them, and as things stand, they're 10 points off the pace, albeit with a game in hand there, potentially going to have to win 9, 10 games to actually win the league?
The difference, though, Richard, is that they have to play some of these teams, and
they do, but they still have to win those games.
They have to win those games, absolutely.
They're the
if they won the games,
there's no question
that could turn very quickly to be 2 or 3 points.
Yeah. Of the 4, obviously, they're the outsiders. But they've an awful lot of work to do. But they have an awful lot of work done, and I just think they add to the sensation that this season is. They could. I mean, they're 10 points behind Hearts, so I think they can eat into that. I don't think they can. Just think it's too much. Could Motherwell finish 2nd? Absolutely, Motherwell could finish 2nd.
I can't believe you've just brought that up, Tom, and I've just received a wave over my right shoulder for Jens Bertolascu.
Checking out his future
just
club.
Just as well you never asked me my comments.
He has been. Look, we've all said it. He's been brilliant.
Yeah.
The team were very good again yesterday. But about today, that's what adds another layer to the intrigue today. It's because of Rangers. Because of Motherwell, and because of Hearts. Because the traditional big two are now feeling the heat from other clubs, and it's absolutely compelling.
Well, compelling is an absolutely accurate word, and it will continue. You just feel it will continue to be so. Right, Martin O'Neill celebrating his 74th birthday. He is at Ibrox along with his team. Rangers will be hoping he leaves having had a much less happy day than he would want to. Andy Halliday, in terms of the head-to-heads out there, the key players on the pitch, the areas on the pitch, what are you particularly looking at for this one?
I think there's a few. I think the big one, obviously, is Dame Murray being introduced into the Celtic backline. Having to deal with a direct opponent, with Rangers playing the two strikers and Ryan Nadiri and Yusuf Chamiti, two boys that are 6'5" plus, have plenty of pace, plenty of athleticism, so I think that's a big one. And then I think for a Celtic's point of view, I think Maeda up against Dujon Sterling, given, yes, no, he's done pretty well. Both players have done really well in this fixture, but Dujon Sterling's not trained for the last 3 weeks. He's obviously shot a match sharpness himself, so I think that is an area for both sides that I think they'll be looking to try and exploit.
Yeah, Pat Bonner.
I was going to say to you, Richard, you were talking about Martin O'Neill being 74 today. Well, there's a man sitting beside me today is 57, Tom English. And the same birthday as Martin O'Neill.
Yes, we're a pair of footballing legends. The same birthday.
Yes. There you go.
Right, Pat, in terms of the balance of the two sides, the relative strengths in certain areas, what are you looking at this afternoon?
Yeah, well, Celtic have got that bit of pace up front, which I think will be an asset to them up against this back four. We're never sure what Fernandes does in the game. He's, last time I watched him, he started off the game so slack. It was incredible. But then he came into a game. I fear for Celtic's midfield a little bit. They could be, it depends how Rangers set up in there. Raskin, Chukwueze, and if they put Mikey Moore in, maybe in that sort of kind of number 10 position. It depends what they do. But Oxlade-Chamberlain, we talked already about him. Negrin will be running on, trying to get him. I don't think Negrin's brilliant on the ball in the middle of the pitch. He'll work away, he'll do what is asked of him, but he's not a creative player as such. McGregor's the one. How's Rangers deal with McGregor? If they nullify him, then Celtic could be overrun in that area, and then that becomes a real problem, because you also have the two up front for Rangers who are big and strong. I haven't seen Nadri playing that much. So I don't know how it'll go, but I think, Rangers are the favourites. Celtic got to hang in. They've got to make sure that they don't lose anything early on to get the crowd sort of G'd up inside to say if they can nick something, then the crowd might turn the other way, and that's how you do it. But you've got to step out there with confidence that you can get on the ball, pass it, and do what they're good at, but hang in there when you don't have the ball.
I would imagine, Pat Bonner, as much as anything, well, yes, the players will need the skill, they will need the technical ability, they will need to hit the heights in that respect. Is this, this particular fixture as much a mental challenge as anything else?
Always is, and that's what I keep saying. You come into this fixture, and I think the top teams, the really top players, will love this type of atmosphere. I'm not saying I was a top player, but I used to love coming here, and you would walk down to the Rangers end, and you would turn around and give them a smile, and they would be giving you dog's abuse as normal, and that would be the same for any goalkeeper, Rangers goalkeeper going to the Celtic end. But you almost have to believe in yourself that you can go out there and do it, and that mentality before the game, in the dressing room, all of that comes with you, and then you've got to get your first touch right. You've got to get out there and hope that the first couple of things you do in the game is positive, and that then will allow you just to go and flow within the game, and that. So it is a mentality. You've got to handle this pressure, but that's what your Rangers and Celtic player for. You come into these atmospheres. If you can't handle it, you shouldn't be at the club.
Tom, there's a big tifo being unfurled, I gather. Can you let us know what that says, or what it represents?
Rangers make Glasgow. I saw that bit.
Right. I was told that you might be in a position to, because I hadn't seen the pictures of it, so I wasn't sure.
No, it's massive. I mean, it's covering the entire length and breadth of the Copeland Road stand. It's what does it say at the end there? I have to check this before I make sure that it's clean.
Yeah.
all you see is something in this.
There's a part that says cheers for the birthday gift. I don't know if it's up to you, Tom.
No, it is. It's eye-catching. I'm still trying to make out the various bits to it. There are bits to it.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, it's enormous. It's absolutely enormous.
Look, the players will be out shortly. We'll be handing over to the commentary team, Andy Halliday, just before we do so. I mean, this must be the moment when you're down there ahead of any game, but particularly a game that you know it could be absolutely pivotal for the season. You're just getting yourselves ready, maybe just about to leave the dressing room. As a player, I was going to say it maybe doesn't get any better than that, but perhaps for some players it's almost the worst feeling in the world, is it?
I think there's certainly an element of both. I think Pat will tell you the hardest part is probably the full week building up to it, when you've got all the police coming to give you the rundown and investigations at the training ground. You're getting people stopping you in the streets if you're going for a coffee or dinner or food shopping, and then certainly the butterflies will be in the player's stomach when they're in the tunnel. It's not only a massive fixture, but I mean this fixture in isolation, what it means to the course of this season for both clubs. It's an incredible fixture, and if you don't have these butterflies in your stomach, you're definitely in the wrong sport for me, because I always say players that play for Rangers and Celtic, they're under so much scrutiny, so much pressure, but it's not till you actually leave the football clubs that you realise how much you miss playing under that pressure. Sometimes you can bring the best out of you. I think it's brought the best out of a lot of players in this fixture, and I think today, Celtic will come and try and have a sustained period of pressure and sustained controlled possession towards the start, and I think Rangers have to try and negate that and be in the front foot. The one thing's for sure, I think we're going to be in for a cracker.
Yeah, I think we're all anticipating that. We're on till 3 o'clock. It'll be off the ball between 3 and 5. The highlights on Sports Scene tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. And the week ahead, the SPFL roundup, all the action from the Championship, Leagues 1 and 2 online. Monday to Friday, the Scottish Football Daily podcast is published. Subscribe to that wherever you get your podcast. There are 2 sports sounds to listen out for. Tuesday night, live commentary, Dundee United against St Mirren. Wednesday night, live commentary, Aberdeen against Celtic. Tuesday on the telly, it's the SWNT, the Scottish National Team, women's team, in action against Luxembourg. That's live in BBC Scotland. And next Friday, we kick off our Scottish Cup coverage. Quarter-final weekend, of course. That'll be live on BBC Scotland. Falkirk against Dundee United. Coming up now, live commentary from Ibrox, from our commentary team of Andy Halliday, Pat Nevin and Al Lamont.
Welcome to Ibrox in a huge afternoon in the Scottish Premiership title race. It's second against third. Not something we usually be saying about an Old Firm derby at the start of March. Rangers trail leaders Hearts by 7 points, with Celtic a further 2 points back. So this feels like a game neither side can really afford to lose. But a draw is little use to either, with games running out to reduce the deficit at the top. It's a grey day in the south side of Glasgow, although I'm happy to say that the worst of the rain seems to have abated, and the teams are in the tunnel, and the noise in Ibrox is about to be ratcheted up a couple of notches as the two teams make their way onto the Ibrox surface. Out they come, Rangers in their blue training tops with the white shorts and black and red socks. Celtic already kitted out for the game, the green and white hoops, white shorts, white socks, and they line up either side of the halfway line with the orchestrated flares going off round about the pitch. The legal ones, I hasten to add, and the match official John Beaton right on the halfway line as the two teams will shake hands, the obligatory handshake. I'm not sure how much they really want to go through this process. Let me run you through the two starting 11s just before kick-off. It's Butland in goal for Rangers, Sterling, Suter, Fernandes and Romans, Chukwani and Raskin in the centre of midfield, Skol-Olsen and Moore on the flanks, with Naderi and Chermiti up front. For Celtic, it's Sinisalo in goal. The back four, Araujo, Murray, Scales and Tierney. In midfield, Nugren, McGregor and Oxlade-Chamberlain, Yang and Maida providing the width, and Adamu up front for the visitors. Martin O'Neill, of course, in charge of Celtic on his 74th birthday. What a birthday gift it would be for him if they could emerge with all 3 points. He does have a good record here, it has to be said. This is his 26th game overall against Rangers. He hasn't managed against any other side more often, and on his previous trips to Ibrox, he's won more often than he's lost. Won 5, drawn 1, and lost 4. Let's see how this one pans out. Danny Rule, of course, victorious on his visit to Celtic Park last time out. A 3-1 victory for Rangers really brought them back into the title race, and they are very much in it now. What will be the outcome of this one? It's so difficult to second guess. There's so much to play for. Celtic in their huddle. Some last words from their captain, Callum McGregor. Always looks like he's firing them up. And they break out of that now as Sinisalo makes his way back to the goal, and he urges the Celtic fans across there in that far corner, about 2,500 of them, to roar their side on. Obviously outnumbered here at Ibrox this afternoon. The rest of the stadium is all red, white and blue, and it will be Rangers to get us underway. They will go from right to left in this first period as we look at it from our position on the gantry in the main stand. Nico Raskan, the little Belgian midfielder, will be the man to kick us off, and we're underway as the ball goes back to Jack Butland, who immediately fires it out to the right-hand side, straight out of play as he looked for Andreas Skov-Olsen, and Celtic will have the early throw-in to be taken by Kieran Tierney, vastly experienced in this fixture, and that could be important with some inexperienced players round about him. Down the line he goes, Kieran Tierney long, Suter rises above Adamu, then Fernandez wins it up towards the halfway line, and Naderi spins away from McGregor. Chermiti forces it out to Scholes and right-hand side, just inside the Celtic half, swept out to the left-hand side here. Chance early on for Chukwani to get it into the box. He's at the byline, cuts it back, but a safe hands from Viliama Sinisalo in that in the 45th second of the match, Pat Evan. An early clutch of the ball there from Sinisalo. That's important for him.
Yeah, I absolutely love getting that ball in his hands there. Really good movement there from back to front, right-hand side to left-hand side for Rangers. They look as if they're up for it. They want to put a little bit of pressure, push Celtic back as much as they possibly can, but typical Old Firm game, lumped up, just got on with the game.
Tierney does do that exactly right on the head of John Suter, who's fouled by Junior Adamu, who's one of 3 Celtic players in the starting 11 making his Old Firm debut, along with Oxlade, Chamberlain and Murray. 4 first-timers in the Rangers side in the shape of Romans, Chukwani, Skov-Olsen and Naderi. Let's see who enjoys it most as Jack Butland prepares to take this free kick just outside his own penalty area, clad all in orange. He lofts it well over the halfway line. Scales is first to it ahead of Naderi. Fernandez knocks it down. It's a poor ball though. Yang tries to play it forward for Adamu. Maida will pick up the loose ball. Cross goes John Suter just at the edge of his own penalty area, under a bit of pressure here, and he plays it off Maida, and it's out, I think, for a throw-in right down near the corner flag. John Beaton's pointed for a goal kick. In fact, Andy Halliday, you're taking the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, it was a positive start for Rangers. A great ball for Nico Raskin to unleash Chukwani down the left-hand side, and he tries to stand it up into the box, and you've got to say, from Sinisalo's point of view, I think he'll be delighted to get that early first touch and make a good one at that.
Goal kick then for Rangers. Jack Butland prepares to strike this one again long over the halfway line. Up towards Chermiti. He wins it well above Murray. Nodded down by Naderi, on by Romans. Then Scales gets his head to it. Romans wins it infield for Raskan, pushes it forwards. Mikey Moore trying to get the better of Murray, but it comes back to Araujo, deep in his own territory, plays it down the right-hand side. Chukwani heads it forward once more. There's Yang, then McGregor. The ball's spending an awful lot of time in the air in these early stages. Chukwani brings a bit of control to the game, out to the left-hand side for Moore, almost at the byline. Tracked by Araujo. Can he get the better of him? A little winger on loan from Spurs. Lets Romans take over. Still deep in Celtic territory. Chukwani now back for Moore. Moore low into the box, but it's cut out by McGregor at the edge of his own area. Tries to get away from Raskin, who sticks to his task. Olsen makes the challenge, but Raskin's actually been penalised for a little bit of a tug on Callum McGregor. 3 minutes in here at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Do you know what? It's great to watch what Rangers are doing just now. It's not actually a 4-4-2 all the time. I mean, both the strikers, Nadiri sometimes goes off a little bit, Chermiti's sometimes further up. But a lot of the time what will happen, both of them will be central, and then you'll get Moore coming in from the left-hand side almost as a 10. This gives Romans a chance to come up and almost play the left winger. Very common for full-backs to play much higher up. At the start of this game, the Rangers full-back was pushing further forward. It's actually Romans and not Dujon Sterling.
Yeah, he's certainly capable of doing that, Romans, as is Sterling on the other flank. It's Sterling getting his head to it. Comes back to Olsen. Well challenged there on the left-hand side by Tierney. It's out for a throw-in on that far side. Andy, you were concerned, I think, a little bit about Rangers playing a central 2 in midfield against the 3 of Celtic.
Yeah, I think already out of possession you can see Ryan Nadiri just dropping ever so slightly on Callum McGregor. It'll be interesting to see over the next period if that's almost a man marking job that Danny Rule deployed at Hampden and at Celtic Park in the reverse fixtures. But like Pat says there, you can see Mikey Moore starting to roll inside in possession. Romans having that freedom to attack down that left hand side, so it's been a good start for both teams so far. It's just start to calm down.
Throw-in taken by Kieran Tierney, but it's robbed by Raskin. Raskin out to Chermiti, back into Raskin, sweeps it forward. Maybe a chance here for Ryan Nadiri. He's just going a little bit out to the left-hand side. Quickly back to Moore inside the penalty. He curls one that was potentially heading on target. Murray got his head to it. Out to Scholes right hand side. Picks up possession, moves away from Maida, but allows Tierney to sweep it away. But that was well hit by Mikey Moore. Dean Murray did well to get in the way. Still 0-0, 5 minutes in. Here's Suter. Forward for Naderi. Romans is up in an advanced area once more. He slips it through to him. Romans, is he going to catch that? He can. But it's good covering from Murray behind for the first corner of the game to Rangers.
It's been a really positive start for Rangers. Nico Raskin again, Robin Oxlade-Chamberlain in the centre circle, plays a lovely little give and go with Chermiti, unleashes Nadiri down that left hand side, cuts it back to Mikey Moore. Great strike, and Rangers hunting packs, win the ball back straight away. And how many times have we seen Rangers be dangerous for these situations, Alistair? Celtic's first corner they have to defend against Rangers.
Mikey Moore to take, left hand side, plenty of Rangers bodies inside that penalty area. What are they going to operate here? It's a short corner to Scholes, and back to Moore, changes the angle, glances on the Raskin, saved and whipped away by Nugren. The offside flag is up against Nico Raskin in the end, but a clever corner again taken by Rangers, who do have the set piece coach now in Scott Fry, and it was one that almost came off Andy Halliday.
It was, do you know what, Alistair, it was excellent defending by Celtic. As soon as the corner was played short, it was set back to Mikey Moore. Celtic's backline did ever so well to rush up to the edge of the box and have Nico Raskin offside. And yes, it's offside, but again, brilliant for Sinisalo to get an early save on board. He started the game well over 6 minutes, but you've got to say overall it's been a great start for Rangers.
Do you know what's really smart about that? We all expected that ball to go in, didn't we? Because of the physicality of Rangers. But it was really good. Got themselves in a good position there. What I'm really impressed with Rangers so far this season, start of this game, every pass is a forward pass. Every single pass is fast and it's forward.
Yeah, it's a free kick to Rangers. Nico Raskin making the point to the referee, John Beaton, that the advantage might well have been played there, because Chukwani had picked up Araujo, had gone right through the back of Mikey Moore, who's still on the ground. An opportunity to play the advantage there for you, Andy?
I think the frustrations are valid, but I think it's the fact it's a head knock, I believe, for Mikey Moore. So I think John Beaton does do the right thing by stopping the game. Chukwani as well has looked really dangerous so far. You know, you always thought with the setup with Rangers today, Raskin and Chukwani would both be really disciplined, just being the two in there, but we've already seen Chukwani 2-3 times break into the box, and that was him breaking down the left hand side there again.
The boos you heard there, because John Beaton just had a word with Julian Araujo rather than showing him the yellow card. The free kick's taken by Fernandez. It's Araujo and Romans who contest it. Breaks for McGregor, who's deep in his own half, and it's won back by Rangers. It's Romans into the penalty area. He comes, cuts it back for Moore. Can he get the shot off here? Plays it to Sterling instead. Sterling out to Chermiti. Goal! What a goal from Youssef Chermiti to open the scoring for Rangers. It's Scott McTominay-esque. The overhead kick from Chermiti. Where did he pull that from? What a goal to put Rangers in front of the early stages here. It's Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
I can't believe what I've just watched. Think of Scott McTominay against Denmark. Scott Volson dinks a lovely ball with his right foot into the box. Yusuf Chermiti gets about 9 foot above ground, overhead kick by Sinisalo. What a goal, what a start for Rangers.
I mean, you cannot describe it any other way without using the words Scott and McTominay. It's came over from the right-hand side, and you know what he's going to try there, because he's up very, very early. But the pace in which he catches it, he has leathered it into the corner. What a goal from Rangers. They have been the better side, and the lift it's going to give them, and the negativity towards Celtic, who have hardly been over the halfway line in the last 5 minutes.
Yusuf Chermiti with an 8th goal of the season. I think we can say with some certainty that that was the best of the lot so far. He's taken a while to get the Rangers fans to warm to him. The couple of goals he scored at Celtic Park certainly helped with that, but that was exceptional from the striker. Bought for £8 million in the summer, and people were questioning the value of that, but if we can produce a few more like that, they won't be questioning it anymore. Rangers have conceded the corner though. Celtic look to respond. 9.5 minutes played at Ibrox. Rangers leading by a goal to nil.
Well, Alistair, Pat was talking about every pass Rangers have played has been forward. Cal McGregor wins the ball back in the defensive position for Celtic, and instead of just relieving the pressure and putting it down the line, he gives a horrible ball into Julian Araujo, and poor Ramos is on him, steals it, and within 20 seconds Rangers get their opening goal.
Corner kick then on the left hand side. Celtic's first. Can they respond immediately to that setback? And it comes from the left to the near post, and it's behind, I think, for another corner. Yep, Celtic will have a second go at it over there as they look to bite back in this huge contest. It's the Rangers fans though who are enjoying the opening 10 minutes after that Yusuf Chermiti scissor kick from about 8 yards out. Great athleticism and acrobatics. But here comes Celtic again with the corner. Near post ball once more. Scholes gets something on it. Liam Scales hit the deck, but the game keeps going as Nugren tries to make something of it. Back out to the right hand side. It goes. Is there a free kick there? No. John Beaton allows play to continue, and Scholes picks up coming down that right hand side. Plays it infield. Chermiti will have to check. In fact, he leaves it for Chukwueze, and Rangers bursting forward, looking to add to their tally. It's Chukwueze into Mikey Moore, edge of the box. Just good footwork to get away from Yang. Now he's at the byline, stands it up. It's over the back post, and it's just wide at the back post. Sent wide by Scholes in the end, as Sinisalo was backpedaling furiously. But Rangers just unable to force that on target from a narrow angle. 11 minutes in, it's Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
It's the second time within 11 minutes that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's been robbed of possession, and the pace that Rangers attack to get from one end to the other in the matter of seconds. It's a great ball for Chukwueze to find Mikey Moore in the pocket, and it's a lovely half turn, great feet to dive into the box. Again, that stand-up cross, but the angle was just a little bit too tight. Rangers have started this game ever so well.
Yeah, Oxlade-Chamberlain's barely get into the game so far, has he? But Rangers have been impressive as Fernandes wins the header. And then Ranieri leaves it to Mikey Moore left-hand side. Ranieri now takes over. Araujo with the interception, but he won't be able to keep it in play. Rangers have the throw in. Deep in Celtic's half, just about 10 yards from the corner flag on this left-hand side. Romans will come forward and take it. But Celtic haven't really got up to the pace of the game as yet. As Romans has it now. Plays it infield. A lovely ball for Mikey Moore. I'm not sure how it got through there. Mikey Moore off Callum McGregor. Rangers have another corner. Celtic need to wake up and fast, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, Rangers have been superb. Just saying everything positive. The belief in this group of players is extraordinary at the moment. And you just get a feeling with this Rangers team at this ground, one's not enough. If they get another one, two's not enough. They have got such positivity and such belief in themselves just now. And Celtic are really creaking.
Here they are. There's Mikey Moore with the corner kick from the left-hand side here. This one comes right into the near post and onto the roof of the net in the end. Almost trying to catch Sinisalo out. Direct from the corner. Doesn't quite come off for Mikey Moore. 12.5 minutes in. Rangers leading by a goal to nil. A special goal from Yusuf Chermiti. You're listening to BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live's coverage of Rangers against Celtic. This monumental game in Glasgow, taking on perhaps even more significance than usual in terms of their position in the title race. Hearts fans listening out for, well, I guess they're probably looking for a draw from this one. Celtic need to buck their ideas up. Plenty of time to go though, just 13 minutes in, as Tierney has it, goes back the way to Liam Scales, midway inside his own half. Nugren comes short and picks up possession on the halfway line, but he has to check back to Tierney. Tierney back into Scales. Scales plays it square to Dane Murray. And Murray out to Araujo here. Popped up with that late winner at Rugby Park, so vital for his side. Chukwani now picks up possession though. And Raskan forward to Moore, quickly closed down by Araujo, now to play for a Rangers throw-in on the halfway line on the left-hand side. 13 and a half minutes played. Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
One of the things you could say, Alistair, is that Celtic style is more measured. Andy was talking about it earlier on, that they pass the ball well, they hold the ball well. There's not been an opportunity to do that yet, but they will keep on playing that way. Rangers playing at this pace, I can't imagine they could keep that going for 90 minutes. Although I remember saying that against Hearts the other week, and they managed to do it. But that's what Danny Rowe's telling me to do, isn't it? He's telling me, keep it up, keep that pace up. Try and put this game to bed almost this early.
Celtic won a free kick just inside their own half, to be taken by Callum McGregor, who tries to arrow it over the top for Dyson Maeda. Dujon Sterling's allowed him to get wrong side, but does get his head to it, the fullback, and then manages to complete the clearance up towards Naderi. He's just caught Scales as he went to go for it. Well, John Beaton's pointing for a throw-in. I thought Scales was impeded there as he played it, but the referee says no, it's a throw-in to Rangers just inside their own half, right-hand side, as we approach the quarter-hour mark. Plenty of football coming up here this afternoon. Some big games in the English Premier League for the 5 Live listeners. Not least Man United Crystal Palace at 2 o'clock, followed by Arsenal against Chelsea at the top of the table. 4:30. Back to Sinisalo inside the 6-yard box. Launches it over the halfway line. Adamu can't get there, but Yang might latch on here. Cuts inside Suter. Here's Yang approaching the Rangers box. It's Maeda now. Out to the left-hand side. Cuts it back. Raskan's in the way and picks up possession. Celtic's attack comes to nothing, but that was almost promising for a moment there, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, Maeda's touch wasn't the best there. He had to have the perfect touch to get in towards goal. It went a little bit too wide, but maybe first or maybe the second time Celtic have got the ball where they want it, a little bit of control. And maybe Maeda's looking the most dangerous at the moment because he keeps on going behind that defence, and we all know
Scales looking for Adamu just beyond them though. Butland comes off his line and grabs that one. Celtic do seem to be playing that ball just in behind the Rangers defence, trying to get them turned, but so far Rangers have kept the clean sheet. Just a quarter of an hour played though. 1-0 they lead. Yusuf Chermiti with an 8th goal this season. All of his goals have come in the Premiership as Chukwani picks up possession. Adamu trying to come back at him, cuts across him and Nygren, and keeps possession. Looks like he's been a promising signing, Chukwani, in the January window. Rangers did a fair bit of business as they look to try and push for the title. Played forward to another January signing in Naderi, and now Scholl Olsen, who's on loan. It's Raskan now, right-hand side for Rangers. Plays it back the way to Dujon Sterling. Now Chukwani. Chukwani gets his head up, plays it to Fernandes inside the centre circle. It's a loose pass cut out by Araujo. Back goes Romans. Wins it momentarily. Nygren wins it, and then the challenge comes in from Romans, comes back off Nygren, and it will be a Rangers throw-in on the halfway line, left-hand side. It's breathless as always, Andy Halliday.
It is, and you know, we're talking about Celtic players have to wake up and realise the game started. I think Emmanuel Fernandes already, there's a couple of occasions now he's been a little bit lax on the ball. Again, he doesn't take a great first touch there. There's a poor pass into Phil Romans, gets intercepted by Araujo, but Romans alive to a danger, wins it back, throw into Rangers.
Look like a nudge there from Chermiti on McGregor. Again, nothing given. Araujo gets it forward. Fernandes high up in the air on the halfway line. Maeda gets his head to it, back the way for Nygren, and now McGregor. Celtic looking to bring a bit of calm to the game, and a good pass from Nygren out to Tierney on the left-hand side. Sterling comes up to meet him, back with Scales. He comes forward down the left-hand side. Nygren in a bit of space. Sterling trying to get back with him, makes the challenge, and it's off Sterling. It'll be another Celtic corner on the left-hand side. Celtic looking for a leveller. 17 and a half minutes in, they trail by Yusuf Chermiti goal to 0. As toss goes Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to take this corner kick. He's tried a couple of near post balls, wonder if he'll try and mix it up. Callum McGregor is available on the angle. Mikey Moore just a few yards away from him as he looks to shut that off. Celtic looking to get back on level terms. The referee has a bit of a word there with Chukwani and Scales just on the penalty spot before Oxlade-Chamberlain now. Former Arsenal and Liverpool man swings it in. It's a dangerous looking ball, comes all the way to the back post, and Rangers get a head to it, and it comes out of the box for Scales to pick up. Scales right hand side now, trying to get the ball back into the danger area. It comes off Tierney and behind for a goal kick, unfortunately for Celtic, but to the delight of most of the fans in the stadium. And after 18.5 minutes, still Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
It's good work for Chukwani and Chermiti to show off at danger. Celtic try and create the overload out wide, but Chermiti doing the hard work, doing the hard yards, comes back, makes it a 2v2. Obviously an element of fortune with the ricochet, but relieves a wee bit of pressure. Celtic have come into the game the last 2-3 minutes. They've certainly looked a lot more control within the game. Rangers will be trying to get the ascendancy back, but it's been a breathless opening 18 minutes.
Jack Butland then with the goal kick. Celtic haven't won on their last 4 visits, albeit 3 of those have been draws. You have to go back to September 2023 when a Kyogo goal was enough to separate the sides. Rangers pick up in the midfield. It's Mikey Moore who started brightly and he moves away from McGregor, coming forward towards the edge of the Celtic box. He's still going, he's into the box. A good challenge from Araujo to dispossess him and come forward, but it's a poor pass from the Mexican in the end. He gives possession back to Rangers, and it's John Souttar out to the right hand side for Scott Olsen, back to Sterling on the halfway line. Souttar once more, just a few yards deeper, tries to angle it out, looking for Romans, who might have been in an offside position, and indeed the flag goes up against the Belgian fullback, who, like Chukwani already mentioned, and he looks like a good acquisition in the January window to Romans.
He does. Looks like he's got something. He brings a different type of dimension, a different type of profile to the Rangers team. Big powerhouse, excellent to win the ball back, but composed in possession as well. Certainly looks like a great find that they picked up in January.
Maida plays the ball inside, but it evades his Celtic teammates, and Fernandes gets it forward to Moore. He looks for Naderi. Sinisalo comes out of his box and plays it over the halfway line, but it's won by Adamu. McGregor now picks up. Celtic looking to him to compose their side. The 2,500 Celtic fans over on that far side, stunned into silence by that Youssef Chermiti finish. I think most people on the ground were, to be fair. Scales brings it forward now for Celtic, closed down by Naderi to the halfway line for Oxlade-Chamberlain, harassed by Nico Raskin, gets it back to his goalkeeper though, and now it's Liam Scales midway inside his own half, out to Tierney left hand side, slips it down that left flank, looking for the Maida. Across comes Souttar and just clears the danger out of the park over on that left hand side as Celtic come forward. 21 in, 1-0 Rangers. You listen to Radio Scotland and 5 Live's coverage of a massive Old Firm derby. Tierney goes back the way to Liam Scales with the throw-in. 10 yards inside the Rangers half. Back to the halfway line to Murray, who plays it square to Araujo. Closed down by Mikey Moore, makes the pass off to Nygren. Big goal threat as Yang picks up on the right hand side, tries to move away from Romans. He gets a foot in, but only succeeds in knocking it to McGregor. Back to Murray it goes, and now Scales just inside the Rangers half and out to the left hand side for Tierney. Almost at the midway point in this first period, Rangers a goal up as McGregor has it. Best of possession is from Celtic, out to Tierney left hand side, ball into the box, Butland gathers it at his near post. That's a good take because he was under a bit of pressure, as much from Manny Fernandes as anyone else, but he took it cleanly. An important take at the near post, Pat Nevin.
Just sums up the difference between the two teams, the styles. They are very, very different. Lovely control football from Celtic there. Played it around, waited for the gap to open up, and eventually did. Got down that left hand side, brilliant ball in there, keeper done extremely well. What was really getting to me watching this game just now, I think they'd not, here's a modern phrase for the game, the two number 42s are very important today, and it is, because McGregor it's so imperative to get Callum McGregor on the ball if you're Celtic controls games, whereas you look at so far, Chukwani has probably done more in this game so far using his pure power. He's been really he's caught the eye very much so.
Jack Butland prepared to restart the game. He just needed a little bit of a check there after taking a bit of a knock from Fernandes, I think it was. Here's Chermiti playing it through, looking for Moore. Scales is across the cover, plays out on this near side for a Rangers throw-in. 23 in, Rangers leading by a goal to nil.
Mickey Moore's been an absolute pest to Celtic, hasn't he? I mean, he's running with the ball, he's taking players on. He loses now and again, but he's asking some serious questions.
Now, you as a winger know, even if you fail once, you just go again, don't you? You just keep running at your fullback.
You only need to win that once. If you win it once and score a goal, you've won the day.
Indeed. Here's Fernandes, midway inside the Celtic half, plays it slightly back the way to Suter, closed down by Adamu. Suter out to the right hand side for Scholes. Scholes goes back to Fernandes, just needs to be careful here. He's the last man when he plays the pass short to Chikwani, forward for Naderi, back to Chikwani, lifts it over the top and all the way through to Sinisalo. A couple of slips in there and comes to nothing as immediately Oxlade-Chamberlain is on the move over the halfway line, steps away nicely from Chikwani out to the left hand side. This is promising for Celtic, or at least it was, until Maida plays a really poor ball across the face of goal. You're always expecting better from him from that left hand side, but no chance for Adamu to get onto that one, and it remains after 24 minutes. Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
No, it's interesting you're watching Rangers when they attack, Alistair. Yang and Maeda are falling both fullbacks all the way back, so Celtic are almost reverting to a back six when Rangers are attacking high. That being said, Rangers are investing bodies into the box. That was Chikwani diving forward, and if they lose the ball in these scenarios, Celtic will look to spring on the counter-attack really quickly. It was good football, just not quite the final ball for Daizen Maeda.
Just having a quick look at the possession stats, it's pretty much 50-50 in these opening 25 minutes. But Rangers crucially with the 1-goal advantage given to them by Yusuf Chermiti after 8 minutes. An acrobatic effort worth catching on the highlights on Sports Scene on BBC Scotland later on, or indeed on the iPlayer. It's a beautiful strike for sure as Suter has it now for Rangers. Plays it forward down the right hand side for Scholes and tries to play it infield for Naderi, who gets it back to Scholes on right hand side. Now it's Raskan. Maida's coming back at him, but Raskan plays it into the box. A slice there by Murray, takes it over. It's Chermiti with a chance and a goal! That's outrageous from Yusuf Chermiti. A massive error. First from Dane Murray, then Araujo. Robbed by Chermiti. Such cute feet, and he pokes it past Sinisalo. It trickled over the line. Rangers have a 2-goal advantage. Both scored by Yusuf Chermiti. Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
I don't know what it is with Yusuf Chermiti in this fixture, but it does it again. Dane Murray has to deal with what is just a routine ball into the box from Nico Raskin. He doesn't deal with it, he scarfs it with his left foot, but Yusuf Chermiti does ever so well to keep it alive. Flicks it by Julian Araujo, flicks it by Sinisalo, 2-0 to Rangers.
Do you know what? That skill there, some would argue is actually maybe even better than the first goal, because he's flicked it around, he's got his back to goal. Araujo has no idea where he was. But you must say about Celtic's soft centre. 2 centre-backs, they're missing obviously Trusty. Carter Bricker's obviously out long-term as well, but they look very soft through the middle there. But take nothing away from that goal, or indeed both goals for Chermiti. They have both been international class.
Just to follow you up on that, Pat, how many times in 25 minutes have we seen Chikwani or Raskin turn the ball over for Rangers? Yeah. Negan, Oxlade-Chamberlain and McGregor have not tackled a single Rangers player yet in possession. Celtic need to be much better off the ball and make more contact.
Just faster and livelier and sharper, quicker to the ball, and wanting to go forward that much quicker, and it has worked so well for Rangers. I said a few minutes ago, Rangers are not happy with 1, they'll go for 2, 3, and it looks as if they're capable of doing it.
Ibrox is quite literally bouncing here. You can feel the reverberations in the gantry here as almost to a man, woman and child, the Rangers fans jump up and down to celebrate the 2 goals that have given them the 27-minute 2-goal advantage. 2 outrageous pieces of skill from Yusuf Chermiti. He had absolutely no right to score that second one. The mistake initially from Murray, and then Araujo looked to be in charge of the situation, but Yusuf Chermiti just extended a long right leg, brought the ball under control before poking it past Viliama Sinisalo, and Celtic trail by 2 goals in this must-win fixture for both sides. And you do begin to worry about Celtic's ability to come back if they were to lose this one. Yes, they would still have a game in hand on Rangers and indeed on Hearts, but it's a long way back even for the champions as McGregor tries to feed it forward for Yang. Romans is there first. Celtic, they've just lost their way this season. There's been so many things have gone wrong on and off the park. The change of manager, not once but twice. The boardroom disputes with the fans, and it's all trickled onto the park, hasn't it, Pat? It's all had an effect on the pitch.
Well, it certainly hasn't helped. I don't think you can say that all that's helped to the club, but I think that's one of the things you'll say at the end of the season. Whatever happens, you can't go in a season and have that much chopping and changing and expect it to be controlled all the way through. But right at this point in time, it's just quite simple. They've got 11 players they're playing against Celtic just now, and the 11 in blue, or certainly the 10 outfield players, just look sharper, man for man. They look as if they want it more. They look as if they want to finish this game by half-time. There's a real... And the belief is the other thing about it. How Danny Rose got this level of belief out of this team is extraordinary, considering what it looked like at the start of the season.
It's a head knock here, I think, for Adamu. The referees stopped the game. Suter won the ball and then kind of almost fell over Adamu, who's come off second best. I don't think it's a free kick. I think well, maybe it is going to be a free kick. I thought it was a drop ball, but John Suter's complaining to John Beaton that he didn't do anything wrong, and I tend to sympathise with what it's going to be. It's going to drop ball to Celtic, which is probably fair enough. We're restarting now. We've played almost half an hour. Rangers leading by 2-0 in what feels like a potentially pivotal game in the title race. Rangers looking to narrow the gap on Hearts to 4 points. Still a long way to claw back, but a win in this fixture would do them a lot of good. We do Celtic a lot of harm, you would have to feel, as they come forward looking to get back into the contest before half-time. We've got 15 minutes left in this first period. Coming up later on after Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, we've got Off the Ball from 3 o'clock, and on 5 Live it's Premier League Sunday. There's 4 games in the top flight to look forward to with Steve Crossman. Here's Chukwani in the middle of the park. He's played well so far for Rangers. He clips that one forward. Murray gets his head to it though and picked up by McGregor. Feeds it forward for Nygren. Celtic absolutely need the next goal in this game. As Scholes simply plays it back to his goalkeeper Jack Butland up to the halfway line. Chermiti back to Mikey Moore. Great bit of skill to move away from Araujo. Here he comes forward. Good challenge from Yang. Took enough of the ball there. Really good work by Yang, but Celtic have given it back to Raskan here. Coming up towards the edge of the box. McGregor faces him up. Back comes Maida. Still Raskan though. Get himself in a tangle there. No foul. Referee's right to wag his finger. There was no way that was a foul. Raskan just got himself into a bit of a muddle there, and the chance is gone, but Rangers have won it back again. As Pat said, they look hungrier here as Mikey Moore has it, faced up by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Forward comes Romans into his path, takes a decent touch. Araujo's in his way again. He goes down. Rangers fans howl for a penalty, but no chance was that ever going to be given. Still 2-0 Rangers, and Celtic have possession through Yang. Finds Nygren midway inside his own half. Really terrible looking ball from the Swede in the middle of the park, and Rangers pick up once more as down goes Raskin, and that will be a free kick because of the attentions from Kieran Tierney there. It's quickly taken, and it's Scholes picking up, coming in field off the right flank, comes back the way to John Suter, just allowing Nico Raskin a moment or two. He's still down on his launches actually, Nico Raskin, as it's played forward down the left hand side here, and a daring challenge by Araujo. Will be a Rangers throw-in. Raskin just looks a little bit uncomfortable out there, Andy.
Yeah, he looks it, but I must say, sometimes he can get lost in this game, but after 32 minutes, I think John Beaton's refereed really well. I think Raskin, they're trying to buy the foul. Again, I don't think there was any doubt there wasn't a penalty there for Romans. So he's letting the game flow, and it's the reason we're seeing such a frantic opening 32 minutes.
Well, the nice thing is the players aren't diving and rolling about too much either. It's a good challenging game for all the players. It's flown by. It's been going at such a pace, but I have to keep on going back to Mikey Moore. I think he's been absolutely. He's had some touches today so far. It's been world class, and it reminds me. This is the highest of praise I can give you. Kvaratskhelia. He's one of my favourite players in world football. He's playing like him today.
Yeah, I see the similarity certainly, Pat. He moves in a similar way. Maybe got a little bit to go certainly to get to that standard on a consistent basis, as Chermiti runs into trouble in the shape of Oxlade-Chamberlain, who finds Maida left hand side, but he's giving it straight back to Chukwueze. Raskin lets it run. Chermiti steps in and moves away from McGregor in tidy fashion. Now it's out with Scholes right hand side. The angle of the box on that right side. Scholes plays it to Sterling, almost at the byline. He has to check back the way. He's got support through Raskin. Raskin here, right hand side, pokes it back to Sterling. Early ball into Chukwueze. Now it's Moore, right hand side of the box. Cross the face of goal, and needed the interception from Scales at the near post to take it behind for a Rangers corner this time on the far side, and Celtic cannot afford to fall further behind before the interval, or else you feel it is already game over.
Rangers have been so dynamic in possession. I mean, you were saying they're putting a 4-2-2-2, but I mean, that's Nico Raskin out in the right wing, that's Mikey Moore over on the right hand side. They've just been so dynamic. There's great interchange of play, great combination play. Unleashes Mikey Moore on the right hand side, and you've got to say great box defended by Liam Scales. Scholes in the corner from the right hand side. The left footed Dane will curl it in near post. It should be met there by Tierney comfortably, gets it away only as far as Moore though. Plays it back out to Scholes and brings it back under control and finds Moore once more. In field of him is Fernandez midway inside his own half, clips it into the area. Chukwueze wins the header, and Aderi on the stretch couldn't quite reach it, and Sinisalo comes off his line and takes that one. We've got 11 minutes to go in this first period. It is Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
These look so dangerous, every attack Rangers. They've got real imagination from so many different areas. Again, go back to this belief, the confidence that the manager put into that team is extraordinary. They just do not care. They will try everything. Every player wants to go by his opponent. At the moment, Celtic look sluggish in the middle of the field here, and particularly Oxlade-Chamberlain. I mean, he's not the first player who's played in his first firm game who thought, what's going on here? Can I get a breath? Can I get the ball at the feet? Can I get my foot in the ball? Well, he's not been able to do that yet, but it's hard in this game.
Romans gets it back from Chermiti, left hand side, midway inside the Celtic half on that left flank. Araujo takes him down, complains that he's penalised, but it is a free kick, and Martin O'Neill on his 74th birthday won't be enjoying it so far. He's out at the edge of his technical area, looking to try and find some words of inspiration, but Celtic needs something, because they have been second best thus far, and they've got a free kick to defend here on the left flank, just a yard or so in from the touchline, about 30 or thereabouts from the goal line. Mikey Moore and Scholes and both over this one as Scott Fry, the Rangers set piece coach, comes to the fore and tries to get the instructions on. Here's Mikey Moore, left hand side, curls it in, looks too close to Sinisalo, and it's a good take from the keeper under no particular pressure on the edge of his 6-yard box, and he quickly gets it moving to Nygren, left hand side. Out to Tierney it goes. Tierney well challenged there on that right flank by Fernandez, and a little exchange of views, shall we say, between the two players before Tierney picks the ball up and gets on with it with a throw-in. 9 minutes to play in the first period. Rangers leading by 2-0, both scored by Youssef Chermiti, and both real top class, you would have to say, as Yang is impeded there by two Romans, and it will be a Celtic free kick in a pretty decent area here for the free kick to be taken, a few yards in from the right touchline, about 25 yards from goal, and an opportunity here for Celtic to try and do something. They need to claw their way back into a game in which they haven't really been overly involved in the opening 36 and a half minutes, as Oxlade-Chamberlain and Benjamin Nygren stand over the free kick, preparing to try and test the Rangers back line here. Jack Butland has been pretty much untroubled thus far, and Celtic changed that here and reduced the deficit at Ibrox. It's going to be Oxlade-Chamberlain who'll send this one in right-footed. One-man wall comprised of Mikey Moore right at the angle of the box, as Oxlade-Chamberlain prepares to send it in. It's a deep ball to the back post. Up goes Maida, comes off a Rangers head, and then Jack Butland goes up and grabs that one and goes down at the edge of his 6-yard box. Comfortable take in the end. Maida did well to win the initial header, but no real test for the goalkeeper. And on 37 minutes, it's still Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
I think Celtic, if they could somehow sneak a goal back and go in just 2-1 down, I think Martin O'Neill would be, well, it's hard to say he'd be delighted with it, but we'd know he had something to work with, and I certainly think at half-time it'll be very much in his mind. He needs to get something else done. There will be, if not personnel changes, tactical changes, but I wouldn't be surprised if personnel changes, at least 1 or 2 substitutions.
5 of those outfield players, Pat, played on Thursday in a game out in Stuttgart. Is that taking its toll, do you feel?
It might do. It might be part of it, but that's part of the game. You have to be able to deal with that.
Rascan gets back to Rob. Callum McGregor. Chukwueze, though, misses out, and Oxlade-Chamberlain pokes it to Yang. Yang out to the left-hand side. Just a little bit overhit for Nygren, but he picks up possession and plays it back to Tierney. Tierney at the angle of the box here. Yang steps away from one challenge. Then Oxlade-Chamberlain was just easily robbed by Mikey Moore, who's then caught by Callum McGregor, who goes into the referee's book, the first booking of the game. And Mikey Moore perhaps just left the right leg hanging to catch the left of Callum McGregor, but nonetheless the referee saw that as a foul and a booking. It's a yellow card for the Celtic captain, and it rather sums up the way things have been going for his side, as the Rangers fans again find their voices. It's the Mikey Moore song, and I do feel that as the season's gone on, as Mikey Moore has got more and more game time, he really has more and more come onto a game as well.
He has, and it seems as if he's the one player within Rangers' system that gets given almost a free roll to roam inside and pick up the ball and take on the half turn and drive it back forwards. And I mean, 18-year-old Alistair, and he's playing on the biggest occasion and the biggest Old Firm fixture for a long period of time, and he's taken that in his stride. He's been superb so far.
Scholes in his possession over on the right-hand side. Hauled down, was he, by Tierney? The assistant's flag there, and it will be a Rangers free kick right on that touchline over on the far side. The Rangers right, about 12 maybe from the corner flag, and an opportunity here for them to perhaps work another set piece and get that third goal that you feel perhaps at the moment, Pat, a third goal might take the game beyond Celtic.
Well, we've seen mad, weird things happen in Celtic versus Rangers and Rangers versus Celtic games. But 3 goals, by the way that Rangers are playing just now, the fact that they have got real power in the bench to bring on, that might be allow them to keep this sort of pace up for the second 45, because it's 5 minutes to go to half-time. They don't look as if they're slowing down any moment now.
It's going to be Mikey Moore then on that right-hand side, right-footed to take this free kick. What has he got up his sleeve here? Just a ball straight into the box, the header just wide from Fernandes. He won it so easily, almost unmarked at the edge of the 6-yard box, and arguably should be hitting the target. Instead it goes a yard or so wide of Sinisalo's right-hand post, and it remains after 40 minutes, Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
Well, it's the first time Rangers have managed to get a good delivery into the box for these situations, and you've got to say Fernandes has to do better there. It's a free header, only 8-9 yards out, where he gets plenty of power on it but not enough to direct into the corner.
It's a big chance. It's a big miss, isn't it? It's a really big miss there, because all you need to do is get on target, and you've got the entire goal to aim at. There's nobody marking you. You're clear, the 7-8 yards out. I mean, far be it for me to tell people how to head of football, but you should be able to get that on target, and if it was on target, it would have been a goal.
Yeah, Manny Fernandes has certainly been a threat in those situations, as Naderi just fails to keep the ball in on this near side, and it'll be a Celtic throw-in. But Fernandes has chipped in with 6 goals since he's come into the team, many of them goals like that, headers from corners, albeit the one at Livingston he fairly rattled in from the edge of the penalty area. Really sweet strike to begin the comeback against Livy. 2 drop points though in that game that they might yet come to rue, but at the moment they're leading by 2 goals to 0 as half-time approaches. 3.5 minutes left of the initial 45. Played forward by Chukwueze, but with too much on it, and it's all the way through to Sinisalo. Celtic yet to have a meaningful shot at goal. Rangers with 2 goals of the utmost quality from Youssef Chermiti to give them the advantage here, as Celtic have it through Yang. It's a good ball for Nygren, but he doesn't have the speed or the acceleration to move away from Chukwueze, and Rangers play it back to Jack Butland, who immediately launches it forward. Naderi's underneath it, but Murray wins the header. Nygren's back there to keep possession for Celtic, and now it's McGregor to his left for Kieran Tierney. Tierney turns back the way towards his own goal. He's looking for an angle. He plays it to Scales, who'll be closed down by Chermiti. It's just up the line now for Maida. Sterling right on his back. Plays it back the way to Tierney once more, midway inside his own half. And now Scales once again. Is it a case now for Celtic, part of simply getting in at half-time with no further damage and regrouping almost?
Yeah, they'd probably almost take that just now, because it's, they almost went 3-0 down there. The energy levels are so low in comparison, particularly in that midfield, and you're looking at the Celtic forwards. I mean, how often have they actually mentioned Daniel's name other than just now when he fouls somebody? They're not really getting any pivot in this game at all. They're not getting a foothold at any point in time. There's a couple of times they've made some nice, pretty passing movements, but when it comes to that fight and battle in the midfield, they've lost every battle. In an Old Firm game, that's a disaster.
Rangers have got a free kick about 20 yards inside the Celtic half, and they're pushing plenty of players forwards for this as Scholes and Mikey Moore come back to debate who will deliver it in towards the edge of the Celtic penalty area. We've got about 90 seconds remaining of the original 45 minutes as Scott Fry, the set-piece coach, comes to the edge of the technical area to try and get the instructions on quite vehemently. I'm not sure the Rangers players are necessarily picking up on what he's saying, but Moore feigns and leaves it to Scholes, and who flights it in towards the back post. Naderi's there, nods it down, might come for Suter, blocked by Murray. Back to Fernandez, he tries a snapshot, and it's going to go well wide of target in the end. But again, it's all too easy. Suter, Naderi wins the header relatively comfortably, and Suter's all on his own, and but for the block, might well have troubled Sinisalo. Still Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
I think it's Dave Murray does a good job at closing the distance on John Suter, because it's like you said, it's a free shot, it's a free volley on goal to try and hit it towards target, but he does well to close the distance and block the shot. But like Pat was just talking about there, whether it's individual duels on the floor or individual duels in the air, Rangers are coming, Celtic are coming out off second best in every single scenario. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if Martin O'Neill's going to be making changes at half time.
Yeah, well, that's almost upon us as Liam Scales turns it back to his goalkeeper from the halfway line. The fourth official, Duncan Nicholson, preparing to show us. Sounds like there's going to be a minute added on at the end of this opening 45. Hadn't been too many stoppages for sure. Here's Maida picking up on the left-hand side for Celtic. Can he somehow find a goal to give them a fighting chance coming into the second period? Scales clips it forward, but across goes Sterling to cut it out. Raskan picks up right-hand side, and he'll just play it down the right-hand wing as Scales cuts it out, comes back up towards Naderi. He can't hold on to it. It is a minute added on, and we're into that now here at Ibrox Stadium. Rangers leading by 2-0. Celtic in possession. Tierney quickly closed down there, plays the ball forward. He hit the deck under pressure from Raskan, who offers an apology. Celtic still continuing, McGregor in possession, and now Tierney takes over again. In slides Mikey Moore though to win it back. Scholes and stopped in his tracks by Tierney. Rangers still in their own territory, but clipped forward by Sterling, and Scales knocks it out of play before Naderi can bring it under his control. Throw in on the halfway line as half-time is just seconds away, but Rangers have utterly dominated this first period.
Andy said something early on there about closing down McGregor. They've done a job in Callum McGregor, haven't they, Rangers? And if you do a job in Callum McGregor, I'm not saying it completely stops Celtic, but it's probably their main player. He is the metronome, but they've done some job on him today.
Rangers just taking their time over this throw-in as John Beaton puts the whistle to his lips and brings the first 45 to a close. A first 45 that has very much gone Rangers' way, and 2 goals of top quality from Youssef Chermiti put them in the box seat as far as this huge match is concerned. The first came after 8 minutes. Andreas Scholes on the right hand side got the cross in, and Youssef Chermiti with the most fabulous acrobatic overhead kick from about 10 yards out, and it flew past Viliami Sinisalo in the Celtic goal. He didn't have an earthly on that one. He didn't know much about the second either. 26 minutes in, Raskan played a decent enough ball into the box. Dane Murray took a big swipe at it, got it all wrong. It sliced, but it looked like Julian Araujo still had the situation under control, but it nipped. Chermiti once more robbed him before poking it with the outside of his boot beyond Sinisalo. Fernandez had a header just before the interval that he should have scored with, could have made it 3-0 as Youssef Chermiti walks off to the acclaim of the home fans, Andy Halliday, it has been some first half for him and some first half for Rangers.
It's been incredible. I think Rangers have been excellent. I think it's arguably been the best 45-minute period under Danny Rule. You know, we said it earlier, but I just don't know what it is with Yusuf Chamiti in big games. He's such an enigma. You know, I think he's split opinions across the board when it comes to Rangers fans and neutral fans across Scotland. But one thing's for sure, in the 2 games against Celtic and the games against Hearts, it's where he's provided his best performances. He's came up with the goods today. I mean, that first goal, for anyone that's not seen it and just listening on the radio, you know, tune into Sports Scene tonight and you will see Scott McTominay versus Denmark in an Old Firm fixture. It was that good.
Yeah, to be honest, it's one of the great goals of the Old Firm history. It really is. It's a fantastic goal. And the second one, brilliant in its own way as well. So Rangers are in a great position just now. Obviously more of the same they want. Second half, like we both suggested there, that Celtic are going to make changes. Well, we know for sure now, because 2 players that are warming up outside right in front of us just now, Hatate, they need energy in that midfield there. There's no doubt about that.
I was just going to put it to you as well, Pat, obviously being a winger yourself, the amount of times that Celtic have got the ball in an unopposed situation, they're looking up, and Junior Adamu's just playing against Rangers centre halves. Yeah. He's not playing in the last line, he's not looking to run in behind, he's not giving any Celtic player an out ball forward. So I think we're seeing 2 people warm up, and Sebastian Tenek and Rio Hatate just now. I'd be amazed if you see Junior Adamu in the second half for Celtic.
Well, I'd be quite surprised if you see Oxlade-Chamberlain as well. Again, it's nothing against him. This is a tough tie to play your first tie in, and to come and play at this pace, and Rangers playing above the pace even you would normally expect in this tie. It's been really hard for him. Fabulous player, but he's not going to get that time in the ball today.
Half-time at Ibrox, Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
And if it stays like this, that will mean Hearts top the Scottish Premiership, 63 from 29. Rangers second, 59 from 29. Celtic third, 54 from 28. In the Old Firm, that is a big if. But how's this for a big game player? Yusuf Chamiti, 8 goals in 22 games this season. Not a great record until you consider 4 of them against Celtic and 4 of them against Hearts. Second half commentary to come, of course, from Ibrox. After that, we've got Premier League commentaries for you, 3 of them at 2 o'clock. So shortly, we'll take you for the first time today to Brighton, to Fulham and to Manchester United. Much more build-up to come as well to Arsenal versus Chelsea. And we'll be back to the Cricket T20 World Cup, where South Africa only needs 7 from 18 to beat Zimbabwe, meaning that England will play in the semi-finals, the winner of the next game, which is India versus the West Indies. More to come on all of that after the news with Lisa McCormick.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. Iran and Israel are exchanging attacks following yesterday's killing of the Iranian Supreme Leader. Tehran had warned of devastating consequences following Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's death and is launching strikes in Gulf countries which host US military bases. Several airlines have cancelled or diverted flights serving parts of the Middle East. Analysts say it's the worst disruption to air travel since the COVID pandemic. Sarah's from Kent, but she's currently on holiday with friends in Dubai.
We were sitting having a very English cup of tea with them, and all of a sudden we heard the most almighty boom. Wow. And the whole building shook, all the glass shook, and we looked up and everyone said run. So we all had to run to the basement to take shelter.
The Foreign Office is warning against all but essential travel to Bahrain, to Kuwait, Qatar and the UAE. British people living there have been told to shelter in place and register their presence. The Defence Secretary told the BBC he won't be mourning the death of Ayatollah Khamenei. John Healey has refused to confirm, though, whether the government supports the US-Israeli strikes. His Conservative counterpart, Dame Priti Patel, has criticised the government's response.
Iran is a regime that has sponsored terror around the world. It is the number one state sponsor of terror. But it also threatens our own country, it threatens our military personnel, it threatens our bases around the world. And we have Iranian proxies operating in our own country. And so on that basis, I think it's absolutely astonishing that Keir Starmer did not step up and do much more to be proactive when it came to these strikes that took place.
Just a couple more stories to bring you. A 26-year-old man's been arrested over the death of a 16-year-old who was stabbed in front of his mum 5 years ago. Cameron Smith died after a group with machetes broke into his house and chased him into his mum's bedroom. 4 people have previously been convicted over that attack. And the Princess of Wales has shared a message in Welsh for the first time to celebrate St David's Day. She joined her husband, Prince William, in a video posted on social media. The couple said that Wales is very close to their hearts. Of course, you can keep up to date with developments in the Middle East during 5 Live Sport. There's continuing coverage on the BBC News website, the app, the news channel and the new live stream on Sounds.
New teams. New rules. A new era. Formula One returns.
The engines are revving. People are getting excited.
Hear every race live on BBC Sounds.
It's all ice to the lights and foot to the floor.
On 5 Live Sport.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Half-time in the Old Firm at Ibrox. Rangers 2, Celtic 0. Second half commentary to come here on 5 Live at 4:30 in the Premier League. Full commentary of Arsenal versus Chelsea. Before that at 2, we bring you 3 commentaries here on 5 Live. Manchester United against Crystal Palace. John Murray.
Yes, and the news here is that Benjamin Sesko of Manchester United gets his reward of a place in the team, having come on as a substitute in the last 5 matches. But he has scored in the last 2, scored in 3 of the last 4, scored in 6 of his last 7 appearances. So I suppose not a huge surprise that he would come back in. He takes the place of Amad Diallo, who's among the Manchester United substitutes today. So the United team, Lamans in goal, then Dalot, Yoro, Maguire and Shaw, Casemiro and Menu, and then Mbeumo, Fernandes, Cunha and Sesko. Only one change for Palace, even though they played in Europe on Thursday night. So just one change from that team. And it's a little surprising because Gessan, who has scored in the last couple of matches, is out of the side. And Johnson comes in, Brennan Johnson. So Gessan only a substitute. And the Palace team, Henderson, Richards, Lacroix and Canvo. Then Munoz, Wharton, Kamada and Mitchell, Sarr Johnson and Strand Larson.
Alongside John for commentary is Dion Dublin. Afternoon, Dion.
Afternoon, Crossy.
Easy and difficult question for you all at the same time. So if Manchester United win today, they go above Aston Villa. How did that happen?
The new manager, maybe. The manager that's gone in and just calmed things down. And I would imagine that Carrick is one of those players that's just quite calm in his delivery, and the players like the calmness and the, I don't know, the regimentedness, if that's a word. But I just think he's just simplified it, Crossy, and I think they like that.
Have you always been open, out of interest, to the idea of Michael Carrick permanently, and where are you on it right now?
Well, the question, where do you go if you don't have Michael Carrick? And if you don't have Michael Carrick, you're looking for somebody to do exactly what Michael Carrick's done. So why not just have the person that's in place and let him continue doing what he's doing? People are going to say, well, we did that with Ollie as well and it didn't work. But I think that Michael Carrick has got them playing in a certain way. I think the players seem to be enjoying it. The fans seem to be enjoying it, you know, if it's not broken kind of thing.
That feels very much,
John,
Steve, that is the question on people's lips coming here today. It's the first time I've seen them live since the win at Arsenal in what was his second match in charge. And obviously the results since then means that it is very much the talking point.
Also, even more pertinent if that were possible today, because there was certainly a time, John, when a lot of people, perhaps those at the top of Manchester United, might have had Oliver Glasner on the maybe list. I'm not sure if he's talked himself off the maybe list.
I think it would be fair to say that his odds have drifted in that particular market, even though there has been a little bit of an upturn. And listen, Crystal Palace could go and win another trophy this season. You know, that's entirely possible in the Conference League with the draw when you look at it and the players that Palace do have. But yeah, I think very much Michael Carrick's position has been strengthened because of, well, first of all, the results, the way that they've played, and I think also, as Dion suggested there, with the message that's coming out of Manchester United Football Club about how everyone's feeling about the place.
So we'll be back with John for commentary just before 2 o'clock. Dion is going to stay with us for a few minutes as we bounce around the other Premier League games at 2. Before we do that, we've got a result in the cricket. South Africa over the line comfortably, Kevin Howells.
Yeah, in the end, a 5-wicket victory, confirming their semi-final against New Zealand on Wednesday, set 174 to win, should I say 154 to win. They got their 13 balls remaining. They remain unbeaten as well. Didn't all go to plan today, certainly for the standout performance from Zimbabwe. Their captain, Sikandar Raza, 73 with a bat, 3 for 29 with a ball off 4 overs, including both openers. Later, Deval Brevis smashed to 42 off just 18 balls, 4 sixes. So comfortable in the end, and South Africa certainly looking pretty much amongst the favourites, if not the favourites, to lift the trophy come next Sunday.
So what that means is that England will play the winners of India versus West Indies in the semi-finals. Kevin will keep us up to date with that. That one starts at 1:30. So if you want updates on that and Manchester United versus Crystal Palace, you will get that with us here on 5 Live. If you just want Fulham-Tottenham uninterrupted at 2 in the Premier League, it's live on 5 Sports Extra. Aaron Paul keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, afternoon everybody from the banks of the River Thames, where it's now no win in 9 now for Tottenham Hotspur. The noise deafening around the football club. They sit 4 points above the drop zone. Igor Tudor says his side's battle for survival is the toughest situation he's faced in his career. He's made 2 changes to the side dismantled by Arsenal last weekend. Pedro Porro returns after a month and a bit out with a hamstring injury. Dominic Solanke comes in to the attack with Pat Matassar and Jed Spence dropping out. Fulham, they're without record signing and winger Kevin for several weeks. Oscar Bob comes in his place. There's no Joachim Anderson. Issa Diop slots into defence.
Dion, it would have been a lot to ask Igor Tudor to start with a win in a North London derby. However, he needs to get... Yeah, exactly. But he needs to get a tune out of them now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and he's got to find a way. Michael Carrick's found his way here. He's got to find a way of getting those, forget the footballers, the people to respond to what he wants, the human being. How do I deal with that individual, and how do I deal with that individual? That's the skill that you need to turn a team round that's just a little bit disjointed at the moment. There's a lot of talent there, Steve, but, you know, obviously Sir Alex Ferguson was the best in the world at doing it. You've got to find a way how can I get that character on my side? I know the talent's there.
Also at 2 o'clock, we'll bring you live commentary of Brighton Nottingham Forest on Sports Extra 2. Massive game for Forest, especially after West Ham's defeat at Anfield. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, it's a chance for Nottingham Forest, Steve, to move 5 points clear of West Ham, and that will be a nice gap with Manchester City next up for Forest in the midweek. Vitória Pereira, the manager, makes 1 change to the Liverpool 11. Matt Sells, he's back in between the sticks for the first time since the 1st of February. He replaces Stefan Ortega, who picked up a calf injury on Thursday evening. Brighton, they're buoyed by their win over Brentford a week ago. That was only their second in 14 Premier League games. They've named the same 11 to go and win back-to-back matches for the first time in the Premier League since November.
Also, Dion, a big game for Fabian Öztler. There have been a lot of reports suggesting he's under pressure. They could finish anywhere from 8th to 17th.
Yeah, exactly.
And they could be in either of those positions in the next couple of weeks.
No, you're right. And excuse me, I think it takes them to 37, and you know that takes them sort of 11th in and around Sunderland as well. So it sounds so much better, doesn't it? 14th and 15th, and you get to 11th, you're halfway in the table. It's not so bad at all. They've got lots and lots of talent. I just think they've lost their confidence, Steve. They're getting into the final third and they're not quite sure how to finish the ball off, where before they were finishing it off naturally. Now they're thinking about what they do in the final third, and I think that's been their issue, as well as obviously conceding goals, which isn't great.
Great stuff, Dion. Thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, Steve.
So you will get full commentary of all of those games across 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Manchester United Palace on 5 Live. Fulham Tottenham is available on 5 Sports Extra. Brighton Nottingham Forest on Sports Extra 2. And then we are all back together for full commentary of Arsenal versus Chelsea at 4:30, which is an absolutely massive game at the top of the Premier League, with Arsenal just 2 points ahead now. Let's get second half commentary of the old firm with Andy Halliday, Pat Nevin, and first Alistair Lamont.
Andy Halliday, Pat Nevin, and Al Lamont.
Welcome back to Ibrox for the second half. Celtic already back out on the field of play, and they have made 2 changes. And it's Rio Atati and Sebastian Chinecti who have come on for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Junior Adamu, both of their Old Firm debuts lasting just the 45 minutes. Let's see what kind of difference those changes can make for Martin O'Neill's side as Rangers re-emerge for the second period here. And it looks like they are unchanged. There's no great surprise there, given the way they played overall in that first period. And they are certainly well in charge as we enter the second 45 here. Rangers looking to move themselves back to within 4 points of the leaders' hearts and give themselves a fighting chance in the closing stages of the season to overtake them and reclaim the title they won in 2021. It's their only league title in the last 14 seasons, Celtic winning, of course, the other 13, as Rangers immediately were in possession back to Nico Raskan at the start of this second period. Celtic have it once more though, but again they've given it straight to Scholes from Tierney. Scholes plays a little 1-2. Now it's Moore for Chukwani, helps it on at the edge of the box looking for Romans, but it's just too short. Chukwani wins it back momentarily. Murray plays it out on the far side, and again the start of the second half, it encapsulates the first period. Rangers first to the loose balls, winning it back quickly, and Celtic just a little lax. Here they come once more, Rangers. It's Chukwani out to Roman's left hand side, gets it back from Chukwani again, and now into Mikey Moore at the edge of the box, lays it back for Raskan. Half thought about the shot, plays it to the back post instead for Chermiti. Scholes and takes the shot on, deflection and wide for the corner. Celtic claiming for a handball. Some sympathies with that claim, but it's not given. Rangers get the corner kick, which is quickly taken over on the far side. Looking to kill this game off as quickly as they possibly can. Araujo gets the header cleared. It'll come out to Scholes and plays it to Sterling, right hand side. Chinecti trying to get back at him. Sterling gets the cross in. Scales cuts it out at the near post, and it'll come out for a Rangers throw in. Another fast start to the second half, Andy Halliday.
As you said, Rangers continue in the second half off the way they left the first. Within 30 seconds already 3 times. Raskin stealing the ball off a Tierney, Scott Wilson stealing the ball off a Chinecki, and then the loose ball again for Chukwani winning over the right hand side. So at this moment Rangers just playing with so much more energy than Celtic.
And it comes to the Celtic box once more, headed away by Murray, picked up by Fernandez, and out to Roman's left hand side. Moore once again steps in off that left flank, moves away from the challenges and plays into Sterling. Now out to Scholes and right hand side, up against Tierney here, back to Mikey Moore at the angle of the box, and it comes a good ball to the back post. Romans is there, saved by Sinisalo. Danny Rule with his head in his hands, because that could have been 3 as well. Romans probably didn't quite catch the shot as he would have wanted, but another warning sign for Celtic. It's still Rangers 2, Celtic 0. Pat Nevin.
Well, the opportunities are just racking up, aren't they? That's another great one at the back post for Rangers. They had a header just before half time. Both of those could have made it 3 and would have been good night tonight, I think, for Celtic, but they're still in it with a battle. The problem is nothing sticking up front. They've now got Maeda up front playing in his own up there. They need to get better ball up to him, give him something to work for. Easier said than done against this Rangers team though.
Scholes and fouled by Kieran Tierney. It'll be a Rangers free kick midway inside their own half. Yes, Pratt said Maeda through the middle now where Adamu is playing, and Chinecti takes up that position on the left hand side. Yang still on the right flank, and Huatati in where Oxlade-Chamberlain had been operating. Played up towards Chermiti, wins the header. Callum McGregor though picks up the loose ball. We've played 3 minutes of the second half. Rangers leading by 2-0. Chinecti just inside his own half, back to Tierney, and now Scales has it. Celtic need to find some inspiration from somewhere. They need to find a goal from somewhere to give them something to build on. They simply cannot afford for Rangers to score the third goal in this game, as Murray plays it out to the right hand side, flicked on by Yang, looking for Araujo, cut out by Fernandez, helped on by Chukwani. McGregor returns it. Nugren knocks it back to Yang and out to the right hand side for Araujo, midway inside the Rangers half. Now it's McGregor. McGregor slips it back to the right to Yang, level with the Rangers penalty area, tries to help it on to Araujo, cut out though, up towards Chermiti it goes, and now Moore picks up once more and begins to drive forward. A good challenge by Yang. Hatate now midway inside the Rangers half, back with Yang. Yang out to Araujo, right hand side of the box, into Nugren on the angle, swivels and fires a shot well off target, as you can hear from the howls of derision from the Rangers fans around about us, and it remains Rangers 2, Celtic 0, 49 played.
The thing about Nugren, he doesn't always play brilliantly, but he's got a habit of scoring goals, and he's a good goal scorer. That was a half chance there. He should have got that on target. I think the manager's had a word with him. he's tried to put a little bit more energy into this second half, because he was another player who this match has actually passed by in the first half. But Negrin alongside Hatate and McGregor, they must somehow get some control, because we have a dig at the wingers not getting the ball, such as Yang, are not playing well. Never get the ball. Never get the ball in the final third. We end up any opportunity to do anything in that first half.
Celtic have it. It's Tierney for Scales, midway inside his own half. Tierney gets it back from Tinekti. Scales turns it back to Sinisalo. Rangers closing Celtic down in this deep area, but Celtic for the moment playing out around that press. Hatate with a good ball to switch it for Murray. Murray out to Araujo, right hand side, crossing the halfway line. 5 minutes into the second period, still 2-0 Celtic trail as Araujo tries to play it forward. Looked like a foul there by Romans. Celtic have picked up possession again anyway as Araujo sends it in. Hatate on the stretch, can't reach it. Scott Olsen plays it back to Sterling inside his own penalty area, and Sterling hammers it over the halfway line. Now Scales has got to be careful, hooks it over his shoulder before Naderi can close him down, and it's picked up by Tierney. Tierney out to the left to Tinekti, who is capable of influencing games, particularly perhaps off the bench, and he needs to do that this afternoon as Murray plays it out to Araujo. But 30 yards from the Rangers goal on the right hand side, looks for the 1-2. Araujo will get to the byline, cross comes in, Fernandez stretches and heads it behind. The Celtic fans encouraged over there in that far corner. They've won themselves a corner kick. Can they find the goal they require?
Well, it's the best passage of play of the game so far for Celtic. Great build up down this left hand side. Rio Hatate gets that little switch of play, and then the attacking numbers. I think Julio Araujo, you can see he's playing a lot more advanced than he did in the first half. He's given Celtic an outball. Rangers got a corner to defend,
which will be taken by Kieran Tierney on the right hand side. Left footed in swinger right into the 6 yard box. It's Fernandez who gets first to it. It'll come all the way out to this near side for a Celtic throw in. Well defended though by the towering defender as Hatate prepares to take the corner, but the throw in, but Tierney instead jogs across to this near side, and he'll take the throw instead. Just a few yards from the corner flag, throws it into Hatate. Hatate at the byline, gets the ball in. Suter cuts it out at the near post. Rangers, from their point of view, Andy, they don't want to be offering Celtic any encouragement in this regard.
Oh, absolutely. They've played with so much energy in this opening 52 minutes. They won't want that to drop, because if it does drop ever so slightly, you know Celtic are capable of working their way back into games. We've seen it so often recently, especially with the late goals.
Yeah, they were 2-0 down at Rugby Park recently at half-time. Came back to win 3-2 with that 97th minute winner from Araujo. Rangers have forced them back to the goalkeeper here as Scales now picks up Danny Rule right at the edge of his technical area, urging his players to press higher. And Scales now plays it square for Dane Murray. 52.5 leads. Rangers leading by 2-0. You listen to BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live's coverage of a massive Old Firm derby as Araujo picks up right hand side. Back in field for McGregor. McGregor teases it forward, looking for the run of Maida, but too much in the pass, and asking too much there of Dyes and Maida. 53 played, Rangers 2, Celtic 0.
Well, he's trying to play, I wouldn't say an impossible ball, but a highly unlikely through ball there. But you've got to see, we've talked a lot about what Rangers have done, particularly midfield. They look really dangerous up front. That back four has looked so solid. They've given nothing away. And so, and up until now, I don't think I've seen one mistake by Sterling, Suter, Fernandez or Romans.
Tierney will take this free kick. Out on the left-hand side, Celtic will back the way to Scales. Sinisalo now well out of his penalty area. Celtic need to find a goal from somewhere. Tim McGregor gives it away in the middle of the park. Raskan picks up. Can Rangers do something here? Raskan forward to Naderi. Celtic will get numbers back. The flick from Termiti is a poor one, and now Negrin can move forward in Celtic's counter-attack, out to the left-hand side for Tenekti. Comes inside Sterling, plays it back to Nugent on the edge of the box. Now Hatate for his space. Can he get the shot off? He can. Down goes Butland to tip it wide. First save he's had to make, and it was a decent one. You'd expect him to make it, but Hatate caught it well from 25 yards. And there's the encouragement I was talking about. The Rangers needlessly gave Celtic Chermiti's slack play in the middle of the park, Pat, and it was almost a Celtic goal as a result.
The narrative can change so quickly in any football match, but in particular this one. If Celtic could get a goal before it goes to 3-0, if they can get it to 2-1, it'll totally change the attitude, it'll feeling, and you'll see much more from Celtic.
Here's Hatate again, picking up in the short corner from McGregor. It's Araujo from distance. He's going to go for it, takes a nick, and it's going to be another corner, this time on the far side. The Rangers fans unhappy that their team have dropped off, and neither's Jack Butland. He's roaring at his defence there to get out and meet Celtic before they can get these shots away. It's going to be a corner on the right hand side. Celtic's best period of the game so far, 55 in. They still trail by 2-0. It'll be Tierney with this corner kick from the right hand side. Is there a way back into the game for Celtic? Tierney swings it in, it's a good ball. Fernandez to it first. Hatate doesn't catch it on the left foot. Still Rangers can't get it clear though. Comes to Yang, lays it back to the edge. It's McGregor back out to the right hand side. Tierney takes a touch away from Raskan, squeezes it back into the box, flicked on, away by Romans at the back post. Rangers under the cosh a little bit just at the moment. Hatate picks up once more and out to Tenekti. Celtic sense there might be a way back here for them. It's Tenekti on the left hand side. Can he find the angle for the shot? He does, but it's blocked by Sterling, picked up by McGregor. Left hand side is Hatate, just outside the penalty area, picks the pass for McGregor. Now Nugent stands it up, header comes in, goal! Celtic are back in it, and Kieran Tierney at the back post has hauled Celtic right back into this contest. It was on the cards for the last few minutes, and eventually Celtic's pressure pays off, and the unlikely figure of Kieran Tierney in the right wing position heads past Jack Butland for his first ever goal against Rangers. And Celtic have breathed new life into this contest after 56 minutes. It's Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
Well, a number of things are happening there. Hatate had changed it a little bit. He's given a little bit more energy to it as well. A couple of shots towards the target as well. One well saved by Butland. But they've just increased the pressure. They look as if they're playing as a unit, as a team. It wasn't like that before. Rangers have been unable to hold it for 5 minutes there, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Can Celtic keep it going at this level? And it does. Danny Rowe now have to make 1 or 2 changes because his team look a little bit more sluggish than they have the rest of the game.
Tenekti was also livened things up for Celtic, stopped in his tracks by Yusuf Chermiti. But Rangers just for the first time taking their foot off the gas, Andy, and it's cost them.
It was, and it was the two players introduced at half-time, Rio Hatate and Tenekti, heavily involved. The Rangers had 2-3 opportunities to try and clear the danger and get up the pitch, but Celtic done ever so well to recycle it. And when you look back, it's an unbelievable ball for Benjamin Egan. It looks for all the world as if he's going to take a strike at goal, but just a lovely little dink ball to the back post. Celtic have that overload header for Kieran Tierney, and out of nowhere Celtic are well back in this game.
Certainly are. All to play for, just over half an hour left. Ball breaks in the middle of the park. Fernandez comes out on top against Yang. Now can he play the ball forward here for Chermiti? Look like he might just be offside. Play continues. Chermiti with a poor ball into the box anyway, and it won't matter. It goes all the way out on the far side. The flag doesn't go up in the end, so it will just be a throw-in over on the far side to Celtic. But that was an opportunity for Rangers to extend their advantage once again. As Celtic at the throw-in, quickly flicked on there by Yang. Maida can't get there. Suter all the way back to Jack Butland, who's going to be disappointed that his clean sheet is broken, having been untested in the first period, beaten by Tierney's header. Suter, and a little bit of miscommunication there at the back between Suter and Sterling, and it's just a couple of mistakes creeping into Rangers' game in the second half. Suter plays it forward in the right channel. Moore will go and chase it. Scales is there well ahead of him and gets it clear for a throw-in this near side.
Rangers just start to be a little bit unsure in possession, don't look as slick as they were, don't look as dynamic as they were to make movements off the ball as well. And you can feel that within the stadium, and you can, the momentum shifts so much in this fixture, and you can already start to feel it shift towards Celtic's favour.
It's absolutely extraordinary, the total domination from that first half, and even for the first 5 minutes of the second half, it's evaporated.
Chermiti has it down at the corner flag right hand side. Come off him last though, and it's out for a Celtic throw-in. As the goal scorer for Celtic's Kieran Tierney, playing in his 17th game against Rangers, and that's the first time he's managed to get on the score sheet. He's won the vast majority of the games he's played previously against his local rivals. As he throws the ball down the line, Rangers won it back. McGregor though gets his head to it. Hatate helps it to Yang. Yang forward looking for Araujo. Fernandes will have to sprint to get there first, and he knocks it back from the halfway line to Jack Butland. Rangers need to regain their composure as Butland sends it over the halfway line. McGregor tries to bring it under control. Scales for Hatate, closed down by Chukwani, gets it back to Murray. Murray returns it to his goalkeeper Sinisalo. We're almost at the hour mark. Rangers leading by 2-1 in an intriguing, enthralling Old Firm encounter. They're rarely anything less as Hatate clips it back to Sinisalo. He's closed down quickly, but he does manage to get it clear out to this near side, the Celtic left, and it bounces over to Nekti and out for a throw-in, and Danny Rule applauds the closing down there that forced Sinisalo into the rushed clearance. Throwing Rangers then about 15 yards inside the Celtic half. That's an hour gone now as Suter picks up on the throw-in from Sterling, moves it out to the left for Fernandes. Romans now on the halfway line. Romans will bring it forward. Celtic backpedaling here. Can Rangers fashion an opportunity? It's Moore on the angle of the box. Then Naderi's well challenged by Araujo. McGregor forward for Tinekti. Looks like he just overrun it. Allows Fernandes to step in, but Celtic get a loose ball. And they'll pick up and they'll go in the counter here. And they've got numbers forward. And it's played to Yang right hand side. He needs to deliver well. And it's defended by Romans. Celtic have got themselves another corner. And their fans are right up for this now over on the far side.
Do you know what? If you're Danny Rowe, you've got to be thinking about changes now. They're losing the midfield. Immediately the changes that were made by Martin O'Neill in the second half have adapted to this match completely. There's real belief, there's real energy. Rangers are looking a little bit tired in there. Maybe the time for someone like Diamande to come on.
Yeah, he changed the game at Celtic Park, didn't he, when he came on? Really got a hold of the midfield for Rangers as Tierney appears to take the corner here from the right hand side. 2-1 his side trail. In it comes. The in-swinger, up goes Fernandes, beats Murray to it. It's not clear though. Scott Olsen helps it out of the penalty area. McGregor will be first to it. Knocks it back into the centre circle for Araujo. Steps away from Mikey Moore, out to Tinekti, right hand side. He glances up, sends it in. It's a good looking ball. Minded with a header straight at Jack Butland. That's another chance. He had time to measure that header, but he could only put it straight into the gloves of the Rangers goalkeeper. And after 62 minutes, it remains Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
Yeah, he's got it on target. He's got a bit of power, and he is backpedaling, so he's not going to get too much power on it. He's got to put it back to where it's come from. But another very decent chance for Celtic. And again, you put Maeda up there. His movements change things as well. It's asked a couple of questions, the two centre backs, who in the first half, well, they had the centre forward in their back pocket. Not the case with this man Maeda.
Butland sends it forwards over Naderi. Murray wins it. Romans though helps it on. Chermiti's on the chase here. Scales heads it out of the penalty area. Celtic trying to get it clear but failing to do so. Chermiti will pick up left hand side. Is there another moment of magic coming from him on the search for a hat-trick? It's Raska now back to Chukwani left hand side. 62.5 on the clock. 2-1 Rangers. Very much on a knife edge once more this game after Rangers completely in charge of the first period. Celtic have come out a much better side in this second half. Here's Sterling though for Rangers. Right hand side for Scott Olsen. In off the flank to Chukwani. Chukwani back to Suter on the halfway line. Plays it square to Fernandes. Takes a touch away from Nugren, then nudges it back to John Suter. Suter tries to clip it out to the right hand side, but it's miscued it and it's out of play for a Celtic throw in midway inside their own half left hand side. To be taken by Kieran Tierney, and here comes the change, and you guys have called it. It's Mo Diamande, and he's going to come on for Ryan Naderi, and that's going to mean a tactical switch as well as a personnel switch here, Andy Halliday.
Yeah, certainly in the second half, Celtic have looked as if they've outnumbered Rangers in the middle of the pitch there. You even see for that period of pressure that Rangers had. Though Fernandes were looking up into that midfield area, and Celtic were matched up against Raskin and Chukwani, so there was no outball for them. Ends up tries to force one out wide, and and puts it out. So it'll be interesting to see the position he takes up. He was the one that was deployed to man mark Cal McGregor on a couple of film occasions last year. So it'll be interesting what position he takes within this midfield.
Oh, he'll do that. He'll definitely do that, no doubt. But the only surprise at Diamandi there, I thought he might have made that change 4 or 5 minutes earlier because it was that obvious. And he could have lost a goal in that period. Almost did with Maeda. So I think Danny Rose finally made the right decision.
64 on the clock. Rangers 2, Celtic 1. You listen to BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live coming up after this on Sportsound on Radio Scotland. You've got Off the Ball, and then 5 Live listeners who tune into Premier League Sunday with 4 big games in the English top flight to look forward to. Man United Crystal Palace, live commentary of that at 2 o'clock, and then at 4:30 we've got Arsenal Chelsea live as well for you. Some massive games on this Sunday afternoon, not least this one here at Ibrox, where Rangers lead by 2-1. A game both sides desperately want to win, arguably need to win for their title hopes. The ball's back with Jack Butland. He's closed down by Maeda. Gets the ball cleared to the halfway line. Tierney wins the header. Hatate on the stretch. Rascan's there ahead of him. That'll be a free kick for Rangers as Hatate just brings him to the ground. Rascan just in front of the Celtic midfielder there, and he just asks for a moment or two before Hatate tries to pull him up to his feet.
Alistair, one wee tactical change there again. The ball goes back to Butland there. In the first half, he had all the time in the world to go and calmly play it out. He wasn't being closed down. You don't get it with Maeda now. He will chase anything down. Butland had to play it long, and Rangers will put under a little bit of pressure there, and they'll lose the ball that a little bit more often because Maeda's just doing that. He might not get the ball, but he'll get possession back because they have to play it long too often.
Just a few yards inside the Celtic half. Mikey Moore preparing to take this free kick. Central area. Rangers got plenty bodies forwards. Up to the edge of the box, a free kick goes. Suter challenging for it. It'll break back to Diamandi at the edge of the box. Doesn't get a hold of it. Comes back to him on the left foot. It's a poor effort. Miles over the top from Diamandi. Maybe give him the benefit of the doubt. He's just on the field of play. A little bit rusty. Perhaps not up to the speed of the game, but a couple of poor efforts from him. 66 in. Rangers 2, Celtic 1. Forward comes Celtic down that right-hand side. Ball's knocked out of play. It'll be a Celtic throw-in, but certainly a good deal more nervousness inside Ibrox with the home fans who were hugely enjoying the way their side were playing in the first period. But Celtic have pegged them back and have upped their game, and Rangers need to do likewise to regain the ascendancy in this match.
You know, you're talking about the changes, you know, energy levels, but the almost arrogance, confidence, cockiness of that Rangers team in the first half, it's not disappeared completely, but it's nowhere near the level it was in the first.
Fernandes plays it forward, but McGregor's there before Diamandi. Now Nugent for Hatate. Slack touch from him allows Rascan to step in. The ball forward from Diamandi, though, is really overhit. Mikey Moore looks at him wondering what he was thinking there, all the way through to Sinisalo, and Celtic start again. It's Nugent for Hatate, and now McGregor into Murray, about 10 yards inside the Celtic half. Brings it up across the halfway line now. Tunekti wants it on this left-hand side. Instead it goes out to the right to Yang. Midway inside the Rangers half now. Back to Murray, and then square for Scales. Scales will bring it out to the left to Tunekti. Still about midway inside that Rangers half. Loose ball back from Tunekti between his two defenders, but Murray will collect before Chermiti can get there. We're at the halfway point of the second period. Celtic have come back in the second period to reduce the deficit. It's 2-1 now, Rangers. 2 Yusuf Chermiti goals in that first half. Had them in command, but Kieran Tierney's first Old Firm goal has made a huge difference to the complexion of this game. It's going to be a Rangers throw-in. Kieran Tierney's trying to call the referee's bluff there. Tierney just looking at the Celtic bench there and wincing somewhat. I'm not sure if he's feeling something. Marcelo Sarachi would be the obvious option to replace him should that be required.
The difference in Celtic's energy levels off the ball in this second half has been night and day to the first half. Just seen 3 great examples over the last 2 minutes of hounding Rangers in possession, making Rangers give up possession within 30 seconds. I think attacks played a big part in that.
Here's Murray, Moore from the left-hand side. Rascan out to Diamandi, back to Chukwani. Rangers fans want Rangers to play with more urgency again. It's Romans out to Diamandi, left-hand side. Now, well-advanced area, onto the right foot, sends it in, away by Murray. It'll be picked up by Chukwani. left-hand side as he plays it into Fernandes on the halfway line, just entices Celtic forward before rolling it all the way back to Jack Butland. Gomez is playing very high and he wins the header there from Butland's clearance, but no takers for the knockdown. He's not happy, the Belgian, and Celtic pick up possession. Played 69 minutes, Rangers 2, Celtic 1, but Rangers no longer have the stranglehold in the game that they had in the first half, as Araujo feeds it forward for Yang, who takes it brilliantly on the chest, feeds it forward for Nygren on the edge of the box, right hand side in for Hatate over the top. Another big chance for Celtic. It came to Rio Hatate right on the 18-yard line, and he scoops it high over the crossbar when he really should be hitting the target. 69.5 played. Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
You know, he's capable of scoring from there, and again he should get it on target. But once again, looking at the Rangers players, I asked the question after about 25 minutes, can they keep this level, this pace, this energy up for 90? Well, I've watched them do it before. Well, they're not doing it just now, Rangers, are they? There's a lot of tired-looking Rangers players out there. So it's definitely time, I would suggest, that if you can make a change that can liven it up a bit and give you a bit more energy. If you're Danny Rose just now, you're the one that's got the questions you need to ask.
Sirachi's just been given the call. I think he is going to replace Tierney here as Hatate feeds it forward here for Maida. Maida brings it under control, couldn't quite take it in his stride, but he does have possession, and now it's Tunekte just outside the Rangers area on the left hand side, plays it back for Tierney. Tierney scoops it into the area, Nygren gets the header in, but it's wide of target under pressure from Fernandes. But if you do feel at this stage, if anyone's going to get the next goal, it does feel like Celtic.
It is, and it's Hatate again picking up the loose ball, and Celtic are just doing exactly what Rangers done in the first half. Any chance to get, they're playing forward, they're running forward, out of possession, they're getting close to people, they're making contact. And that man, we talked about Celtic not winning duels, not winning loose balls, not making tackles. It's Rio Hatate again. There's been a lot of chat about him and his performance over the last few weeks. He's the one that's onto the loose ball again, plays it in behind. It's another dangerous attack for Celtic.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably had the poorest season since he came to the club, and he set very high standards in his previous seasons here. It's definitely not been meeting them for the most part of the season, but he's certainly come on and made a difference in the second half. And here he is playing it forward again, looking for Yang. Romans is first to it, plays it off Yang. It's going to break though and stay in play, and Butland has to rush out to the edge of his box and knock it out of play on the far side as Sirachi waits to come on and replace his fellow left full back Kieran Tierney, the man who has brought Celtic to within one goal of Rangers with about 18.5 to play of the 90. Throw in Celtic over on the far side, midway inside the Rangers half. It's Araujo preparing to take it. Is there a further twist or turn to come in this game? You suspect there probably will be. Celtic have given it up though. It's Chukwani bringing it forward now for Rangers across the halfway line, invites the challenge from McGregor. Still it's Chukwani powering down the left, then McGregor gets his foot in, and it will be a throw into Rangers over on the far side, and that should allow Celtic to make not one but two changes, as Luke McCowan, who was so impressive with that early goal out in Stuttgart, and also generally his performance was very good. It's going to be a double change as Celtic look to try and drag themselves back onto level terms before the afternoon is out.
Just before they make those changes there, very noticeable Chukwani, who was bestriding this game. He was so much more physical, stronger than anyone else out there. He's just had a great run up the line there. I think that's just about finished. I mean, he looks exhausted to me. Let's see if we can get that back.
Raskan with a loose pass, looking for Scholes, and Rangers are definitely not quite as on it as they were, as the changes now I think are going to come for Celtic. The Rangers fans try to rouse their team once more as Tierney makes his way off, having contributed hugely with the goal that's brought his side back into the game. Yang is the other player who's going to be replaced by McCowan for the closing 17 minutes plus stoppage time. As on comes McCowan, whose first minute goal gave Celtic the victory out in Germany, the first ever victory on German soil. It was all ultimately for nothing, as Gassama, now JD Gassama is coming on for Andreas Skol-Olsen. who again, well, he set up the first goal, Andy, let's be fair to him, but I'm not sure he quite had the impact that the Rangers fans have been hoping that he's going to provide.
No, I thought in the first half, I thought Rangers to a man were excellent, but he was probably the quieter of the front four especially. But then, no, since the second half came, I think you can see he's one that's tired more than most, and I think Rangers had to make a change somewhere. You know, you've seen Celtic make 2 changes there. I thought Rangers were going to be the one that make the next change, but no, they've replied with Gassama coming on that right hand side.
Well, Jiri Gassama certainly a little bit like Sebastian Tenetti, perhaps has made his best contributions off the bench for Rangers. As the ball's back with Sunny Salo, 16 minutes to play. Rangers 2, Celtic 1, live on BBC Radio Scotland and BBC 5 Live. As Sirachi gets his first touch of the ball in the left back position, plays it back to Sunny Salo. Quickly out to Dane Murray at the edge of the box. And back to Sunny Salo once more as Rangers look to press Celtic again. Scales on the edge of his own penalty area. Cross comes Chermiti. Scales plays it forward. Good challenge from Sterling on Tunekti. Chermiti lays it off for Gassama here, right hand side. Angle of the box. Scales on the back foot. Gassama tries to force it across goal. McGregor did well to get back into a good position and cut the danger out. And now Celtic come forward. It's end to end just at the moment. It's Nugren with a quarter of an hour to go. Chukwani struggling to keep pace with him as Pat says he might be out on his feet. It's back with Nugren at the edge of the box. Challenge from Chukwani. He's penalised right on the edge of the box. And Celtic get the free kick. With Chukwani absolutely exhausted there. Looked like he got a bit of the ball there, but the referee deciding he took the man as well. And it will be a free kick to Celtic right on the edge of the 18-yard box. And a wonderful position here. And big chances for Celtic to find the equaliser.
Yeah, to be honest, if you go to ground there and you take a bit of the player, the referee almost always gives a free kick there. But Chukwani, he's given everything he's got there, but that was a very, very tired challenge there.
It's not too dissimilar to the position where Negan scored that free kick at Tynecastle against Hearts. You know, he sees his eyes have lit up that he's got this opportunity from roughly 20-21 yards out. Again, it's mental how the momentum shift in this game. You know, it looks as if Rangers were going to create a good chance down that right hand side, and within the matter of seconds a Celtic turned the ball over. They're attacking Rangers box and a free kick in a real dangerous area.
Nygren's just taking the ball 2 yards further back from where the free kick was to give him a chance to get the ball up and under, up and down again.
Yeah, interesting. So just right of centre, Benji Nygren looking to line a couple of Celtic players up just in front of the Rangers wall. Callum McGregor and Rio Hatate are there. Hatate's kneeling down, McGregor standing up. Now he crouches, Nygren straight into the wall and cleared by Diamondi. Rangers fans urge their team forward. 14 to play. Still they lead by 2 goals to 1, but they've been, well, as much as Celtic were second best in the first half, Rangers have probably been second best in this second period. And here they come again. It's Celtic into the box. Hatate spins. Can he get the shot off? Sterling steps in. Gassama picks up, still inside his own area. Tries to get it clear here. And eventually just whacks it up towards the halfway line. But Rangers have got no bodies up there. Chermiti stretch off here. They're toiling here as Butland will collect that ball at the near post as Sirachi tried to bend it in looking for Maida. No joy on that occasion. 13 to play. The game is very much in the melting pot. Still Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
Well, whatever happens in this game, Martin O'Neill has to do one thing more than anything else: get his team starting games. You know, it's not good enough to keep on coming the last half an hour, 10, 15 minutes, the last 2 minutes. You need to control games. Exhaustion, it doesn't always work. They're leaving it late again, but they've still got a chance.
Here's Scales bringing the ball out. Gassama goes to close him down eventually. Plays it into Maida. Maida out to the left-hand side for Sirachi. Sirachi feeds it forward. Sterling in the way. Picked up by McGregor. Celtic getting all the loose balls, all the second balls now as Tunekti steps in off the left. Away from Sterling. Away from Gassama. Finds Nugren. It's Tunekti once more. Chance here on the right-hand side. It's McCowan. Saved by Jack Butland. What a chance again for Celtic. A wonderful move from the left to the right. And Luke McCowan denied by Jack Butland. It's all Celtic at the moment. 78 played. It's still Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
Do you know what? It's a fantastic move for Celtic. And again, Tunekti and Rio Hatate heavily involved.
The Rangers are trying to get close, they're trying to make contact, but Celtic with great combination play to work it for the left to the right hand side. But I did think, was there an opportunity for Luke McKeown to try and lift it or even turn it back?
No, he's got to lift it towards the back post. You're keeping it low, the keeper's always going to get to it there, and he didn't catch it clean either.
Here comes Celtic again. It's Tenecti from Nugren. Tenecti goes down under the challenge there of John Suter, and that is a yellow card all day long for the Rangers defender. And Rangers having huge conversations at the back. John Suter trying to urge the players to play with their head. They need to get back in control of this game as far as he's concerned, but Celtic sweeping forward at every turn here, and they've got another free kick. This one just about 10 yards in from the left touchline and about 10 yards outside the penalty area as well, but another opportunity to try and test the Rangers backline. Jack Butland's by far been the busier keeper in the second half, having been a virtual spectator in the first. Very much a game of two halves as Nugren prepares to swing it in from the left hand side. Left footed, and it comes to the back post. The header's won by Dave Murray, but it's over the top. Celtic go close again, but not close enough as far as they're concerned. They still need a second goal at the very least, with just over 10 to play of the 90. Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
Well, the noise you can hear is a barometer of what these fans are feeling just now. There is real fear, they know that they're second best just now, Rangers. All the Rangers players are looking over to the managers as if to say, well, what do we do now? What do we do now? You get to get together as a unit, as a team. The belief has just seeped away from these Rangers fans. And now those Rangers fans are trying to lift the post.
Butland with a goal kick then. 10 to play. Rangers leading by 2-1. Chermiti's been pretty anonymous in the second half, and he can't get to that, but he will latch on here. Just hooks it over his shoulder for Diamonde to take over down the right hand side. He's into the penalty area. Across the penalty area comes, and doesn't quite fall for Chermiti. McGregor's there again to tidy up and find Araujo inside his own box, and now Araujo brings it forward down that right flank. Slips it forward, but Maida can't get there, and Fernandes picks up for Rangers, who are just trying to take the sting out of the game as much as anything else at the moment. Butland, first time, over the halfway line, but straight to Scales. Maida was offside, so can't go for it. It's all the way back through to Butland, who surely will just take a few seconds here before rolling it out to Fernandes to his left. Fernandes approached by Nugren. It will go back to Butland. Butland first time, scoops it high in the air. It's not a good clearance. McCowan beaten to it though by Romans, but it'll come for Hattati in the middle of the park. McCowan again beaten to it, and now Chermiti picks up. It's Gassama on the halfway line, threads it forward. He's looking for Raskan. Murray was in the way. Celtic have it once more in the midfields. McCowan clips it forward, looking for Maida. Suter's giving that straight to Nugren. Nugren slips it to his left. It's Tenecti. This is a chance for the leveller. Good defending from Sterling. Good strength to see it out of play. It'll be a Rangers goal kick, and Dujon Sterling stepping up to the plate there when Rangers needed him most, and it will be a goal kick, Rangers. And with just under 9 to play, it's still a narrow advantage Rangers have. They lead by 2-1.
Rangers have to stop passing the ball back to Jack Butland when they're unopposed at centre half. All they're doing is inviting that pressure to Celtic's front three. It's forcing Jack Butland to kick long, and unlike the first half, it's now Celtic that are picking up all the loose balls, and don't make no mistake about it, Rangers are on the ropes here.
Well, we talk about playing the ball back to them. The entirety of the first half, I can hardly remember Rangers playing a backward pass. Everything was forward, and everything was forward with pace. Now the only forward balls are the ones that are happening right now. A big lump up the park.
Murray wins the long ball, heads it forwards. Moore though, and then Chermiti out to the left hand side. It's Chukwani, left hand side of the area, stands up in the middle. Sarachi's there, and it's behind for a Rangers corner at last. Rangers threaten once more. It's been such a long time since they've been up this end of the park, but they've got themselves a corner with 8 to play, and surely if they were able to get a third now, it would take the game beyond Celtic, as good as they've been in this second half.
They need a good delivery here. I think it's Rangers' 4th or 5th corner potentially, and all the previous ones haven't been great in terms of delivery, and that's where Rangers have been so good in these scenarios, not only scoring goals for set pieces, but 9 times out of 10 the delivery's bang on the money. Can Mikey Moore get this one right?
Mikey Moore from the left then, right footed, plays it short to Gassama back to Mikey Moore now on the angle of the box, swings it in. It's a decent ball, but Murray's first two, it's a good header. Tenekte kind of pulls out of the challenge, but eventually takes up possession, and now it's Sirachi coming forward, looks for Maida over the top. Mikey Moore's furthest back there, and he makes an important intervention there to get it back to his goalkeeper on the stretch, but manages to direct it back to Butland, who clears poorly, and Hatate picks up on the halfway line. Dreadful pass, but then another one by Sirachi there, and now it's Raskan, looks up. Can he find a runner here? It's Gassama who makes the run. He's goal side of Sirachi, into the penalty area he comes, and he just plays it off Murray, and it'll be another Rangers corner, this time right hand side. Oh, it's really end to end right now, and it's still anyone's game really, but Rangers, despite having been on the back foot in this second half, still hold the 2-1 advantage.
So open now, isn't it? It's incredible how open. A lot of space and a lot of tired players out there, and that's when good technical players usually make their presence felt.
The surprising thing though, Pat, is that Rangers can't allow it to be open. No, they're the team that's got that slender lead, but you know, anytime they're attacking, they're still committing loads of bodies forward, but as soon as they lose possession, I mean, Celtic are just springing into attack, and Rangers got away with one there because Luke McKibben was in acres of space over that far side.
That switches on all the time. You've pointed out 3 or 4 times already.
Two Romans has come across to the right hand side to take this corner. John Beaton's already indicated he'll be adding on the extra time that Rangers are taking to take the set pieces, and it comes from Romans into the 6-yard box. A bit of havoc in there caused by Fernandes, but it's cleared by Benji Nugren, picked up by Sterling's the only player deep for Rangers, as he sends it back in looking for Romans. It's over his head and out behind for a goal kick to Celtic. We've got just over 5 to play as Celtic prepare to make one last change. James Forrest, their veteran winger, is going to get the call, and he's going to replace Nugren for the closing few minutes as Celtic look to get themselves level. Well, a point is clearly better than nothing from this game, and if they could earn it from 2 goals down and still feel like a bit of a victory. Rangers looking to cling on for the 3 points that would take them back to within 4 of the leaders' hearts. At that point they would have just 9 matches left to play. Here is Forrest into the last 5 minutes plus added on time. Forrest for Araujo, right hand side, midway inside the Rangers half. Back it comes to McGregor. In Celtic fashion, at least one more opportunity to earn themselves that equaliser. Scales out to Tenekte, left hand side. Back comes Gassama to try and track him. Tenekte drops his shoulder, plays it infield to McCowan. McCowan well challenged by Gassama, he's still got it though. Back to Sirachi it comes, and he goes back to the halfway line. Looks like McCowan was just caught there maybe by a flailing arm from Gassama. Play continues, it's McGregor in the middle of the park, no one closing him down just yet. Now it's Hatate, back to Araujo, plays it square for Scales, midway inside the Rangers half, out to the left for Tenekte. Rangers again slow to close down. Tenekte plays it into the box, away by Chukwani. McGregor picks up though on the edge of the area. Hatate for Araujo, about 25 from goal. Out to Forrest on the angle of the box, right hand side. Can he find a cross? Chukwani has let him go by him, and it comes. Maida's there. Oh, how's that stayed out? Jack Butland, did he make the save there to deny him? That's a tremendous save. If that is indeed what happened, as Jack Butland just got in the way. Maida from point blank range. Here comes Celtic again, as the referees asked him to take the throw in again. As a delay as they
Has he seen something? Has he seen something? Maybe some handball in there?
Well, it wasn't clear to me at all what happened as Maida got the header in, but I could only guess that Jack Butland got his self in the way. But there is a check for a possible handball in there, and this could be further drama in the last few minutes at Ibrox.
I thought Butland did brilliantly just to almost Schmeichel, the other Schmeichel, his dad's way, just made himself big, the big star jump there. I mean, the ball was beautifully played in there by Forrest going down the line. Maeda gets a great header on it. I couldn't see a lot wrong with it.
I don't know if it's when Dujon Sterling comes in to try and impact Maeda's header.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure if they suggest that it flicks off his arm.
Oh, and he's going to have a look.
I wish if he's going to the monitor.
Oh dear.
You know what this means?
Yeah.
Oh, this is great news for Celtic, bad news for Rangers, because John Beaton is coming across to the monitor to have a look at a possible handball here, and inevitably, more often than not,
so hard to see. We've seen a couple of angles of it now. Here's the best angle. Do you know what?
Well,
I still can't tell. I've seen 4 angles, can't tell you.
There's a suggestion that Sterling's outstretched arm
his left arm, his trailing arm takes the ball and it's going towards the goal. And if that stopped to get in the goal, even though it's completely undeliberate, this could be given.
Yeah, well, John Beaton's having a good long look at it. It's a massive decision. VAR, I think, suggesting that they cannot be definitive about this decision, so that's a difficult one to get round. John Beaton.
What a moment. What a moment for the referee.
Well,
he's given him plenty of time, and I do not blame him.
He's going to get stick one way or the other here, isn't he? On he comes. What is the decision here? He makes the TV screen and points to the spot. It's a Celtic penalty. In the dying moments here at Ibrox Stadium, Celtic have a chance to pull themselves back from 2 goals down. Well, it's a massive moment in this game as Celtic have the opportunity to come level at 2-2. Jack Butland's got a terrific penalty record. He saved all 4 that he's faced this season and 7 of his last 8, in fact. Can he keep that statistic strong here this afternoon? We're into the final minute of the 90. There will be a considerable amount of added on time now as a result of this VAR check.
It's worth underlining, we've seen a lot of angles of it now. There is definitely no deliberate movement of the arm. There's a yellow card given out.
I think that's Raskan.
Yeah, but the header was almost certainly going on target. It's hit his arm and it's possibly stopped to get into the goal. I don't think you can argue much. That's got to be given as a penalty kick.
It's going to be Rio Hatate to step up and take this. He has had a positive impact in the game. Now can he finish with a flourish? And there might yet be time for a winner for either side if this goes in. Who knows? Looks like there's going to be 5 minutes added on once this penalty is taken. That's the board says as Rio Hatate steps up, preparing to try and beat Jack Butland from the spot. Butland just behind his line. Now he crouches. Butland behind the line here. It's an interesting approach. Up comes Hatate, right footed. Saved! The rebound! Saved as well! But it's forced in! Celtic are the equaliser! At the 3rd time of asking. Hatate denied twice, but eventually Celtic force it home, and they are level in stoppage time. Once again, it's the late show from Celtic, and from 2 goals down, it is Rangers 2, Celtic 2.
Rangers are complaining of potential encroachment into the penalty area, but I'm sure it's Rio Hatate that gets onto the rebound. I mean, Jack Butland must be sick. Yeah, he saves the penalty, he makes an incredible rebound save, and Rio Hatate gets a 3rd chance at it to knock it in the box. Rangers players have got to be falling in for the edge of the box to stop that from potentially happening. I know Jack Butland, he's done all he can, but take nothing away. I think Rio Hatate has been Antonecki has got to be said, they've been game changers for Celtic, and I think that all the momentum was Celtic's way going into this second half, and they've got the rewards for the penalty spot with Rio Hatate. Goals given.
Yeah, it's 2-2, and I think Rio Hatate did get the final touch there. 6th goal of the season for him, and Rangers will be absolutely furious with themselves the way they have thrown away a 2-goal lead for Celtic. It will feel like almost a win for them, a moral victory. There's still time though for further drama. Celtic have been by far the better side in the second half. Can they force a winner? Bodies hitting the deck at the edge of the Celtic area, and John Beaton just tells everyone to get on with it as Diamondi and Callum McGregor pick themselves up. It's Fernandes at the back for Rangers, plays it square to Suter. Can Rangers revive themselves and find the winner as Gassama goes down under the challenge from Sarachi, and Rangers will have the free kick right on the touchline here, right hand side, midway inside the Celtic half.
I'll tell you one group that will be cheering just now. Celtic fans are happy, but Hearts fans are probably delighted at this point in time. They don't want any more goals.
Oh, 100%. This would leave Rangers 6 points behind Hearts and Celtic 8, albeit with a game in hand. But it would give Hearts a huge boost in their quest for a first title since 1960. But Rangers have a free kick here on the right-hand side to be taken by Mikey Moore. Is there another final twist here? The first header is cleared by Forrest. Back into the edge of the area by Sterling. Hatate with a clearance this time. Now McCowan picks up, well challenged though by Diamonde out to the left-hand side. He's shot with the pass. Araujo steps in, but Diamonde has it back. Chukwani once more, cleared by Hatate. We've played 3 minutes of the time added on as Martin O'Neill on his 74th birthday is right at the edge of his technical area, as is Danny Rule, his opposite number. 2-2 it stands, a couple of minutes of injury time to play. Suter stayed up there, nods it down. It's Raskan, can he get the shot off here? He goes for goal, comes off the midriff of Dane Murray. You'll hear the howls for a penalty from the Rangers fans, but it didn't look like there was any handball involved there as Celtic get it out for a throw-in on this near side.
Suter and Fernandes are staying up front. Rangers need to be careful here, because again, when Celtic put the ball, if Celtic pick up the loose ball at the edge of the box, I mean, Rangers have just come out all bodies forward.
Looking for that winning goal as Diamonde's closed down. He's knocked it out of play, and Maida gets the decision there. It's going to be 6 minutes, I think, in the end added on of extra time, injury time here at Ibrox Stadium. That means there's a couple of minutes left to play. It's 2-2 live here on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live, and this game has not let us down as Fernandes lashes it forward. Mikey Moore's on the chase. Sinisalo right to the edge of the box, grabs it before the Rangers winger can get there and bowls it out to Araujo. Celtic feel that they might be yet able to win this, coming from 2 down, which would be quite incredible. It's out of play over on the far side though. Rangers throwing midway inside their own half. Araujo trying to slow things down as Rangers trying to get it back into play. 90 seconds remaining of stoppage time. Back it goes to Fernandes. Fernandes sends it forward, looking for Gassama. Sirachi with his eye on it, heads it down, but it'll be picked up by Sterling. Sterling takes a touch out to the right-hand side, tracked by Tenekti. Sterling goes down, he's taken down by Tenekti, says the assistant referee, who's a yard or two away from it. And Rangers will have a free kick in a good position, right-hand side, just a few yards away from the touchline. It's quickly taken into Moore. Now it's Diamonde into the back post. Raskan tries the hitch kick. Who's it going to fall to? Chermiti's in there, and both sides claiming for something, and in the end the referee points in Celtic's favour. I think it's going to be a goal kick simply, and after 95 and a half minutes it's Rangers 2, Celtic 2.
Absolutely shocked the Rangers took that quickly. You know, they've got a chance to get everyone in the box, set it up. It's a brilliant position to put on a cross, and they didn't get the best cross out. They took it quickly, it wasn't thought out, slightly too panicked, and the chance was lost.
Sinisalo, I think it's a free kick that was awarded in the end. He takes that long. It's over Maida. Suter gets the head to it. McGregor with the thigh. It's picked up by Romans forward. Chermiti can't get there ahead of Murray. Helped forward by Diamonde. Moore can't get there. Chermiti forward once more. Araujo tries to help it forward. Down go McCowan and Diamonde. It's picked up by Fernandes. But it's full time at Ibrox. What a game this has been. And the spoils are shared in the end between these two great rivals, and it doesn't really help either of their title causes. Hearts, the big winners today, you would have to say. The Celtic fans certainly the more triumphant there on the far side as they celebrate having come from 2 goals down. Bit of a coming together in the middle of the park between the two sets of players. Nothing too untidy, it has to be said, at this juncture. Plenty of emotions. Now Araujo's shoved, and now it's getting a little bit more tousy and emotional. But well, this game was in Rangers' hands. The first half was hugely dominated by them. 2 top-class goals from Youssef Chermiti had them massively in command at half-time. But Celtic came roaring out the traps in the second half. Got a goal back from Kieran Tierney after 57 minutes before the drama in stoppage time when Dujon Sterling was penalised after a VAR review for a handball. And up stepped Rio Hatate, who saw his penalty save